attention because it happened in Birmingham. Mm-hmm. You get the affluent community, and next thing you know, everybody's all up in arms. But I mean, the video was like, yeah, that would. If that happened in any street in any town USA, you're going to go nuts. Like this, you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, that's in Birmingham. That's what happens when the dollar store comes to town.
Is that right? Anyway, they got a Sheets coming just a couple mile away from that.
Just imagine that party.
Right? No, I'm kidding.
Karsch and Anderson next, 97.1.
Hello, and welcome to the Karsch and Anderson program. Anderson is back. Hello, Anderson.
Hello, Karsch.
How are you?
I'm doing very well.
That's good. You spent yesterday on the golf course in the Rocket Classic Media Day outing, which is part of something you do annually, which I hope isn't totally 100% diggity done. But did you come away with any hope that might be a new sponsor found or anything, or is that?
The term "never say never" was thrown out there a couple times. I think they're sad that it's the way it's happening, but I think they also understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's too bad. I wonder if anything changes because they've made changes to the golf course. I assume it's to appease the PGA. And they had a video with some of the players talking about the changes that are being made, because they've been updated with pictures and videos and stuff. And Ricky Fowler is obviously he's like one of the spokespeople with this tournament because of his close ties with Rocket. And the golfers that were on the camera and talking about, they all said the right things. Well, we like the changes they're making. It's adding more character to the course, and we got to play the South course, which is not the course where the tournament is going to be held on. Typically in years past, we played the exact course that the pros will play. But because it's still under construction, it's been under construction for 11 months, we weren't able to get on there. But you could see once you got to, when we were finishing up, it was a shotgun start, so we started on 5. But you could see some of the changes. And one of the holes, it's remember the 313 area, right, where you have the par 5. If any golfer gets an eagle on the par 5, a hole in one, and then a birdie on the par 4 in the 3 consecutive holes, there's a lot of money donated to charity, and somebody can also wins a big prize if they do it. But regardless, there's tons of money donated for every eagle, every hole in one, or every birdie on those 3 holes. And what centers those 3 holes is this little pond. And the pond is no longer there. They filled it in. And it's a different kind of grass that's in there now. So it's startling to see, actually. Like, whoa, like that's different. But also, there was a massive difference between the course we played was great, in great shape. But then you looked over at the championship course and how that's going to look, and I've never seen it look better.
Really?
Like it's startling how different it looks compared to the course we played on, and we played on a nice course.
I mean, at the core of this, I guess I'm slightly pissed at the PGA Tour pros. I feel like not enough of them decided to come here and support this event. And, look, we're not an exotic locale. Got it. But an opportunity to expand the game and expose it to people inside the city of Detroit proper is a cool thing. And I just, had there been bigger names, there would have been better attendance. And every year when we saw a name we recognized commit, you and I would get, hey, oh, cool. Yeah. And we'd applaud it. And Golf Guy would text our show and tell us,
the top 10.
Yeah, he's rated 31st in the world. Who cares? And I'm like, okay, got it. Yeah.
And it is a shame. It's a shame that there was a tournament that you weren't going to see Rory McIlroy, But when it started, you did see some guys. I mean, albeit it would be like one or two of the top guys. Like Dustin Johnson played 1 year. Bryson DeChambeau won it 1 year.
You'd have to go back and look at somebody could look up and come up with like the best field they ever had. Mm-hmm. And why didn't it build from there?
Well, COVID hit, which was
COVID
big,
hit, and then the signature events. Live sucked a bunch of guys.
Well, Live came first, and then they came up with the signature events.
Okay, everything about Live sucked. It just sucked. As a casual golf fan, hated Live. But Live didn't help. Then they deemed the signature events. Detroit didn't get that status,
right? Which that killed them. And then the placement on the schedule didn't do them any favors.
And I sit here, and you go to that thing yesterday, and I love that they're never say never, but it's probably not happening.
No, it's probably not, unless things change. I mean, like you say, never say never. You can come up with somebody else might want to sponsor, or they get a corporate sponsorship from somewhere else. Maybe it's General Motors or Ford Motor Company, or somebody else can step up and do this. But I mean, you're going to have to. There's so much money involved to make it one of those signature events, or to get this idea of tier 1 and tier 2 that the PGA Tour is considering. It's such a haves and have-nots scenario that, like, who in the right mind wants to go and pay top dollar to go see tier 2?
It deems this some tournaments like minor league events.
Yeah, it really does. I think it's so stupid.
You know why they're doing this? It's because they're all responding to Live.
Right, but Live's done. Like, this is it's so aggravating but this new system they're going to come up with, like, I don't know if it starts next year or not. It's beyond dumb. And I don't know why you went to the world of beyond dumb when you could just simply, try to tweak what you have. This is a major change, and it's going to turn people off from going to these other events. Like, it's great to watch these events, and you see thousands of people gathered at the 18th green waiting for the finisher to come in. And hey, are we going to get a playoff? Let's get a play. Everybody wants a playoff. And then you're going to have these tier 2 events where there's going to be dozens waiting at the 18th hole to see guys finish. It's not the same. It's going to be awful. But hey, look, there's still plenty of, there's 6 weeks until this tournament. I think this comes up at the end of July into early August. And so there's still 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks to where people will say, hey, I'm going to play. And I know last year, even up to a few days before, you had people committing late. So yesterday they got the commitment from Wyndham Clark. I guess it was a commitment earlier from Siwoo Kim and some others. And
Wyndham Clark,
Xander Schauffele's going to play.
We were planning on talking about Wyndham Clark and Wyndham Clark yesterday already because of what he did at the Canadian Open. You saw that?
Yes.
With the USA Hockey jersey. It was freaking awesome. He put on a Jack Hughes jersey and teed off at the Canadian Open. It got booed and then rolled it within 5 feet and birdied the hole and waved at the crowd as he got booed off the green. It was kind of a good, fun trolling kind of deal. And
that was hated all Sunday.
Yes, but whatever. This guy, is, coming to Detroit adds a little bit to the personality. And it just feels like it's all for naught, though. It feels like every time they got a big name in the past, I was looking for this event to get better footing. And we needed everything to go right. We needed the big names to commit. We needed a better spot on the calendar. Probably needed that signature event status. And got really none of it. And I guess we shouldn't be stunned that in the end it goes away.
No, but I wonder if they've got stuff on something pulled up under their sleeve there where it's because it's the grand finale of the event. Will they somehow try to make it more appealing to some of the bigger names in golf, or really appeal to them? And because you can't pay them off. I mean, that's illegal. You can't do that to get them to come. But there are ways around that. To donate money to different charities and stuff. But I don't know. I would love to see if they were able to get a couple of the monster names, like if you got Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy to show up. I know it's a dream, but it's something that would transform the event, and it would be either a nice way to go out or something that pumps life back into the idea that let's keep this event going, and let's see how the course. I mean, the way the course was looking, like I said, I've never seen it look like that. It looks fantastic. I wonder if that makes a difference to the players on tour. Those guys they're like, oh my God, they really stepped it up.
But it's not too late, huh?
They say never say never. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm ready to play.
How'd you play?
Well, I played quite well yesterday.
Did you? Not a boy. Was it play your own ball or was it a scramble?
It was play your own ball.
And who'd you play with? He brought a scorecard in.
Played with Evan and Rieger.
Yeah.
And Jason.
You brought your scorecard in?
It was that good. And Jason Colthrop from Channel 4.
Did you bring in your mock draft too?
Did not.
Doug, what are you reading right now?
He's reading the scores.
If this is true, this is your best round of your life by far.
Yes.
I'll go check the veracity of what he just showed me.
I will also say this though. It played to a par 68.
Okay.
So there were only 2 par 5s. Right. But there were 6 par 3s and 10 par 4s.
We have somebody who played with you. I'll check the veracity of this. Okay.
Well, it's his handwriting, so that should help you out.
Carson Anderson, 91. Nice M1.
If you're looking at your home and realizing that it's time for a new roof, windows, or siding, well, the biggest hurdle is usually finding somebody that you can actually trust. And that's why you need to call Shaner Roofing Windows and Siding. With over 30 years of service right here in Michigan, Shaner has built a reputation that is frankly unmatched. We're talking about a 4.9-star Google rating, people. That's backed by thousands of homeowners. And you don't get those kinds of numbers by accident. You get them by doing the job right every single time. And because they're a local family-owned business, they skip the high-pressure sales tactics. Instead, they provide a true, honest assessment of your home's needs. And when the job is done, well, you're protected by a lifetime transferable warranty. While other companies are being bought out by outside investment firms, Shaner stays committed to our community. They're here to stay when you're ready. And when you are ready, for quality that you can count on, visit mymichiganroof.com and get the 5-star treatment that your home deserves from Shaner Roofing at mymichiganroof.com.
All right, from Chris in Houston. Hate to break it to you guys. No interest from pros and their corporate partners in Detroit golf event. No history, no local players. Dud. Yeah, we're well aware of there being no history. We're well aware that not enough of the big pros showed up. We're well aware of many of its failings, and which is why at the conclusion of our conversation last segment, we said everything had to go this tournament's way. And a lot didn't. A lot didn't. Not getting the preferred event status. What's it called? I'm blanking. Where you get the extra prize money? Signature event status. Not getting a good spot on the calendar didn't help. No.
And it's a much better spot on the calendar now. Unfortunately, it looks like it's too little too late. You know, they've made changes to the golf course that might be too little too late. But we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, there's still 5 weeks or so to go to try to lure players to commit to this event. And you know, there are some bigger names. And there are plenty more big names that they can go after. I think it'd be great if they can get JJ Spawn to commit. Remember, he won the U.S. Open last year, and then he was committed to play in the Rocket. And he said, "Well, I just need some time to relax."
He committed before he won the U.S. Open. Then he won the U.S. Open
and backed out.
Yeah.
So this is a better time in the calendar, I think, because it gets more competitive too when you get towards the end and towards the FedEx Cup, and everybody wants to jockey for their position. Where they want exemptions from the first tournament of that they have to move up in the standings. And if you're going to do that, well, you got to accumulate points. How do you accumulate points? By finishing high in other tournaments.
Do you? I mean, again, I'm a casual golf fan, but I do watch and I do like it and I do play. But there's no minimum number of tournaments you have to play, right?
I don't know. I think there is. But
is there?
Yeah.
That number should be higher if there is. Encourage, because they should be. You should support the events.
Yes, you should. But at the same time, they recognize that there was an appeal to LIV that was beyond the money, and some of that appeal was you're playing less events, so people can have more of their life back. And I mean, look, LIV gave them the best of every world. You got to play fewer events. You got to play fewer rounds because you were only doing 3 rounds instead of 4. And you were paid ridiculous sums of money. And on top of that, they did this shotgun start thing and everything the whole tournament was done, or each round was done in 5 hours. There were a lot of things that appealed to golfers with that. Unfortunately, it pulled some really great golfers away from the PGA Tour, and then we're stuck in the mess we are. But one of the things the PGA Tour has done to try to combat that is create the signature events. It is, which also makes the better golfers want to play in those events and not the others. So it does hurt ultimately the other tournaments like Rocket. It's too bad.
Mike from Sterling Heights says, I was lucky enough to grow up at the Detroit Golf Club. I think it's too easy for these guys, to be honest. I think it's the first or second easiest tournament each year.
Well, I don't know if that
really against the Buick Open.
Yeah, look, how many events are we watching where there are scores that are in the 20s for being 20 under par? We see a bunch of those, and yet they still get played. They recognize that, I think, at DGC, and that's why they've made some major changes to the course upcoming. And we'll see if it's more difficult if the scores are in the high teens and low 20s as opposed to the mid to high 20s.
Nick in Shelby Township, the Rocket always got shafted by the tour schedule. That's the biggest issue for the weak fields. Sandwiched between 2 majors and playing after the U.S. Open and Travelers screwed them because none of the big name guys want to play 3 weeks in a row with a third event like the Rocket. It isn't a signature event or major. I think he needed a comma there. Playing the third in a row like the Rocket it wasn't a signature event or a major. Yeah.
There you go.
Not sure how true this is, but I heard a rumor that the Rocket mortgage will end up being moved to Oakland Hills. That's from Vince.
I haven't heard anything like that, but I'm not tuned in to all the inner workings of that. I don't know if the Oakland Hills members would want that. Oakland Hills is getting some monster events over the next 20 years. They're in this rotation of some pretty big events.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'd want to be tied up where that course is shut down.
Well, I heard something today that members basically don't get to play the PGA course because they're working on it so much
Which one?
at DGC.
Right now, they're not.
Yeah.
But right now, because it's under construction still. So they will, I heard that they will open it up once it's ready, that they'll have like a week or two to play on it, but that they'll have to walk the course. They're not going to have carts on that course to try to keep it as fresh as they can.
I heard a rumor too, guys, that the Rocket Mortgage is actually going to Hammond, Indiana. And so, I mean, they are just on the up right now.
Hammond is a city
it
on the
is.
rise.
Yeah. They're hot.
Yeah.
Hansel hot.
That's right. Johnny
So
from
hot.
Rochester says, how about Ford or Penske for sponsorship? Obviously, both have major ties in the Detroit market.
I think there are plenty of people that could sponsor an event, but if you're not going to be guaranteed to get that tier one status, then what's the point? I mean, honestly, I don't blame anybody for not doing it. Who wants to go to a tier two event? Unless you're a diehard golf fan, I don't really want to see, the 60 through 120 ranked golfers in the world playing.
So who's the YouTuber that's playing? Isn't there some?
I forget. Yeah, there is. He's a former pro.
Yeah.
Former collegian, like runner-up or something like that to the championship, and he was with the Good Golf guys, I believe, or the Good Golf guys, and he is a YouTuber, yeah.
And
Influencer.
he was given a exemption to play.
Yes,
Have
but
they?
it's not like he's an actual golfer. He's like really good.
Okay. This might sound a bit crazy,
Not PGA Tour good.
but it might help attendance a little bit, and I'll be more interested for
Well,
sure.
yeah, there will be people that would be interested in that.
Well, no, I'm about to propose another exemption.
Oh, here we go.
You.
Yeah, that's right.
Gator shot at 81 yesterday at Media Day. So give Gator the exemption.
I don't think they're far off. I mean, they're trying anything.
They're getting really hard up.
No disrespect.
Let's get Gator out there.
If they want a younger crowd, get Bluey and Pep out there. My kids might show some interest.
Okay.
Did you get that verified?
Yes, I did. Very short, I was told. The course was very short. And
Yeah,
that,
well, I said it was.
Yeah.
I put the caveat. It was par 68. Still beat Rieger by 11 strokes.
as one does. All right, so
It's nine strokes. I'm sorry.
wild Tiger game last night.
Yeah.
Wild Tiger game.
Very wild.
Yes.
And awfully wet.
Well, I mean, the headline's Colt Keith, right? The 2-run homer in the third to put the Tigers up 4-1. I think 4-0 at the time. The 2-run shot down the line to put them up 8-3, and then the solo shot in the ninth,
The opposite field.
the opposite field, to put them up 9-3. Bobby Scales said he hit 3 different pitches out. It was a sweeper, a changeup, and a slider on the broadcast, which is awesome. And quite frankly, this is the correction. When people talk about corrections in baseball, this can happen both ways. This can happen when you're performing way above your head. The correction comes and you suck for like a month to get you back to what you normally are. But when you've sucked for a couple of months, and Colt Keith didn't suck, but he was hitting for
but
no
he
power,
wasn't-
no extra base hits.
No, he had 5 games ago. 5 games. So the first 62 games. He had 0 home runs and he had 7 RBI. 7 in 62 games for someone who's, pretty much in the top 6 in the order every game, if not in the top 3. He had been playing way up in the order. Since that time, he's hit 4 home runs. So it's in his last 5 games, I believe, 4 or 5 games. He's hit 4 home runs and driven in 9. He's had quite a week, Colt Keith has. I'm glad to see it because I'm like, this guy is just that frame is just too big and too large to not hit for any kind of power. And there he showed it last night, 3 home runs, bringing his average up to 267 on the season. More importantly, bringing up his OPS. Welcome to the 700 club again, Colt Keith. Good to see it, and let's see if he can be steady now. I don't expect him to be, hitting 3 home runs a week, let alone in a single game, but I do expect to see some power out of that bat, and we did see it last night, and it was great to watch. And I think for him, you could just see sighs of relief all the time. When he hit the first one last week, and it looked like, he would help to blow that ball over the wall because it just exhale, 420 feet later was just great. You root for a guy like that because he has to be part of this team's future. They took a chance on him. They gave him a little bit of a contract well before he was due, right? They gave him a little bit of money and said, all right, we're going to invest in you for 7 years at whatever it is, $5 million a year or something like that. But they gave him the money, some money. They want to see return on that investment. And last night is a monster step in the right direction. It's one game, but let's hope this jumpstarts the rest of his season and he starts to develop into that player that you all thought he could be.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's helpful but there was a lot of talking points out of last night's game because it was wild. It really was wild.
Stuff that happened before the game.
Right, sure. With another Tiger injury. We don't know how serious Troy Melton's is, but then obviously Glaber goes down during the game, and that looks like it might be more serious. We'll get into some Tiger stuff coming up a little bit more in depth a little bit later on. But straight ahead, we have got our Detroit Red Wings Trade Center, spelled CENTRE, news aggregate update blitz thingy, as there is maybe more teams getting involved with Dylan Larkin, including one that really has something intriguing to shop. We will get to that today at 10:31 on Carson Anderson on 97.1.
Summer is right around the corner, and there's never been a better time to drive home a brand new Chevrolet from Sarah Chevrolet of Southfield. Right now, lease the all-new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado for just $189 a month. If you need something sporty and versatile, get the 2026 Chevrolet Trailblazer for only $219 a month, or cruise in the summer in a stylish 2026 Chevy Trax for just $249 a month. And every one of these incredible deals comes with just $1,999 down. So whether you need a tough truck, a family SUV, or the perfect everyday ride, Sarah Chevrolet of Southfield has your summer savings waiting right now. Hurry in today or shop online at sarahchevrolet.com. Sarah Chevrolet of Southfield, where great deals and great service come together. At 696 and Telegraph in Southfield, they're open every Saturday. Dealer fees extra. Offers are subject to approval and availability. See dealer for complete details, and together, let's drive.
Carson Anderson, 97.1. Okay, look, we got an ongoing story in Detroit with Dylan Larkin. Everybody is talking about him around the NHL, and we update you every couple days on the very latest reporting and what's being said. We call it the Detroit Red Wings Trade Center Aggregate Update Blitz Thingy. All right, Gator, let's start with this from David Pagnotta from the fourth period at NHL Network. He's reporting that the Red Wings and Dylan Larkin on that front, quote, it sounds like it's more of a futures-based package, at least right now. Is this a star-for-star type of swap? It doesn't sound like it. So, a couple things here. That implies that the general manager, if he's comfortable making a trade like this for futures, is making a trade thinking he's going to be around for a while to see said futures. People already are questioning whether or not Yzerman should be making this trade. Ultimately, it's his job to make the best trade for the Detroit Red Wings, whether he gets to see the fruits of the trade or not. Because if it's all for like draft capital or young affiliated draft prospects that have been drafted and are playing right now still in college or whatever, like Porter Martone was last year when he was with Philly. But the point is, you got to make the best trade, even if the Red Wings trade Dylan Larkin and see maybe even nothing at the NHL level in return coming back.
Well, I take this into mind, too. This reporter doesn't know because this is spoken to Steve Yzerman. The only way he would have information is if he's spoken to sources from the other teams that are looking to talk to the Red Wings. And then what are you getting? Is you getting to half the story where it's, let's say you're dealing with Minnesota. Minnesota says, well, we're only going to be giving you up prospects. So if you want Dylan Larkin, it's going to have to be for prospects. You're not getting the whole story, so you don't know.
Because you're only getting the other team's
Because you're only getting the other team's version. You're certainly not getting Steve Yzerman's version, and I doubt that Chris Draper or anybody else in the hierarchy is going to leak anything to the media about what's going on. So I don't know if that's entirely accurate. Is it logical to think that that's what teams are going to offer? I think it's logical to think that if you're going with the original three teams, if you're looking at whatever it was, Vegas and Minnesota and Florida, the other team, if you're going to restrict it to those teams that are ready to win a Stanley Cup now, that don't want to give up anybody from the core, of course that makes sense that they would only give up prospects. Does that make sense for the Red Wings? Well, it depends on how deep your prospect pool is, what your draft pick is in this upcoming draft or future draft picks that you would give up. I think when you're dealing from those teams that are really good, they may not have the great prospect pool. So I'm not sure that the deal's ever going to get done with those top tier teams because they just may not have enough.
Yeah, look, and I will say this. If for Steve Yzerman, if all he's getting back is prospects and draft picks and nobody that's NHL ready, you almost need the NHL media to say, well, he got a ton. Even though none of it's going to be in the winged wheel this year, he got a ton. Because if it's a stretch, I think this town is going to revolt.
It could, but there are other things that this trade is so interesting and what could end up happening because I think if you're going to deal with a top tier team, you're probably going to have to bring in a third team. And that third team might have the NHL ready player. Or the player that's on the roster that makes sense. So keep that in mind and also keep an open mind that, the move, if you end up trading Dylan Larkin for prospects, it frees up $8.5 million into cap space. And that allows for either trading for another team's higher priced player that they don't want. You've got prospects that you can trade, and you've got money now to spend in free agency too on some of these other players.
All right. Well, we will continue to monitor, but there are teams calling apparently, and there's a lot of talk. Pagnotta went on to say that he's heard other teams are getting involved, but Detroit is still in a tough spot. Okay, that is courtesy of the Hello Hockey podcast. He mentioned San Jose. San Jose has the number 2 overall pick. Could the number 2 overall pick be a satisfying return from San Jose, maybe with some other stuff, but somebody who is NHL ready, but not a top-tier prospect? Number 2 overall pick, there are some guys that are close to NHL ready at the top of this draft.
Yeah, you look at everybody thinks Gavin McKenna, the kid who played at Penn State last year, that he'll be the top pick in the draft. And then you've got a number of guys at number 2 that may be there. Ivar Stenberg is the Swedish forward that's likely to go second overall. And because you play in a Swedish league, you're not throwing up crazy numbers. It's like you can't just look at stats and say, "Oh, this makes sense." It's a skill set really that you're looking at, and this guy is supposed to be an incredible playmaker. He's got great vision on the ice. He ended up with 33 points in 43 games last year. In the under 20 team, he had 18 points in 15 games last year with Sweden. So, but played internationally in the offseason there in the World Championships. So there's something there to like. I don't know if it's feasible if you're San Jose. You've done so well in the draft. Maybe you want to keep going that route, and you've really mined very well the last couple of years. But the thought of adding Dylan Larkin to that team, if you're San Jose, if I were the Sharks, I'd do it because you've got a young team. And I haven't looked at their salary cap situation, but I'm guessing they could probably handle it pretty well. But is that enough for the Red Wings in return to get the number 2 overall pick? One would think it probably is.
Yeah. Caleb Malhotra, who's played at Brantford of the OHL, had 84 points in 67 games. That is a stat league, by the way. And Keaton Verhoff, who is at North Dakota, is a right-hand shot defenseman who is 6'4", and over 200 pounds. So he would be a guy that could put on some more weight, but also guys that could be NHL ready.
And Malholtra's big, and he's the son of Manny Malhotra, who played a very physical game. So there's definitely appeal there.
Interesting. San Jose and the number 2 pick. Something to think about. In the meantime, on a Blackhawks podcast, the Blackhawks Breakaway on the Chicago Sports Network, they had Frank Saravelli on, hockey insider for TSN. He talked about Yzerman's challenge and what he thinks may happen. Okay, Volstead, I don't know how good or bad this kid is. I just keep hearing franchise goaltender, and it sounds like he's far outperformed whatever the Red Wings thought that Kosa was going to be, and they did take Kosa ahead of Volstead in that draft. But if you can get him to throw in Charlie Stramel, would you be happy with that return? How good would this goalie have to be for you to be happy with this return?
Well, I'm not interested in the goalie because the Red Wings have goalies in their system. They have several goalies in their system, and you mentioned the Kosa was drafted ahead of Wallstedt, and Wallstedt played very well last year. 2.61 goals against average and had a .916 save percentage in 35 games with the Wild. So it's already proven at the NHL level. But everything that the reporter had to say is accurate about goaltending. It changes one year to the next. They're very rare that you get this solid goaltender for like a 10-year block, and he's that guy. I mean, it just doesn't happen. It's just so rare. There's going to be ups and downs. And I don't know if he's light years better than Sebastian Cosa, but he's gotten the opportunity where Seabass has not gotten the opportunity. And Sebastian Cosa may not even be the number one Red Wing prospect. It might be Postova or Trey Augustine for that matter. If the Red Wings were to make a deal with Minnesota, and right now I kind of don't even want it to happen out of spite because I don't want Dylan Larkin to get his way and go to the team that he desperately wants to go to because I don't think it's fair. But let's say they do work out a deal there. And Wallstedt would have to be part of it because he's their top prospect. The only reason I would do it is because I'd be able to spin either I'm spinning Wallstedt off for another player or I'm bringing in the third team and it's just part of that trade. Again, this is where the third team makes sense. Stramble makes a lot of sense, the former Spartan product and also played at Wisconsin. He's a bigger kid, plays with an edge, and can he be kind of like Porter Martone, I guess, in some ways. He wasn't as prolific at scoring as Martone was, but this was a guy who had over a point a game at Michigan State. And I think he had, 18, 19 goals in the 30-something games. I don't hate that. I feel like I'd still want something a little bit more than Stramble and Wallstedt, and I'm not sure if is that asking too much. How desperate is Minnesota to get that deal done? I think Minnesota might be more desperate than Detroit.
I think they might be, yeah. That could be one to keep an eye on. And that concludes the Detroit Red Wing Trade Center News Aggregate Update Blitz thingy here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1. If you want to keep talking Red Wings, we will take your phone calls and feedback. Got some Tiger stuff to get to. There is a lot to talk about with last night's game, including a big picture look at what this team is up against. All that coming up here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1.
Hey, looking to upgrade your outdoor space? Well, Builders First Source has you covered. With 4 Metro Detroit locations, they specialize in top-quality composite decking. Brands that you trust like Trex, TimberTech, and AZEK. So whether you're a DIY enthusiast or you need a certified installer, their expert team will help you build the perfect deck that stands the test of time. My mom just had their deck done last fall. She absolutely loves it, thanks to the help and the folks over at Builders First Source. Go ahead and visit one of their locations today in Lapeer, Auburn Hills, Clinton Township, or Shelby Township and discover why Builders First Source is your go-to for decking. Quality, service, and unbeatable value, that is the Builders First Source promise. Search buildersfirstsource.com.
One thing's for sure as we talk our way through all this possibility with Yzerman and a Red Wing trade is there is one time constraint, and that is the draft is next week. And if he's looking for draft picks, San Jose, according to Pinota, San Jose is involved. If San Jose is involved, they have the number 2 overall pick. Florida's been dangling the number 9 pick, according to reports. And there are also confirmed reports that Florida's called and made an offer. So you'd have to think the number 9 pick was involved. And Yzerman has to decide, can I do better than draft picks? If not, which package of draft picks and players can I put together to make this worth my while? To have what is going into this offseason, the most coveted veteran asset out there in the conversation at the very least, but it's not a great free agent market. And now you have a player like Dylan Larkin being asked to be traded. And so there's a market there. He's got to capitalize on having this asset. 248-539-9797. Let's go to Dennis in Farmington Hills. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, hi, Doug. And Gator. This was on NHL Rumors last night, and it's when things are too good to be true, they're usually not true, but Vegas offering Pavel Doryaev and Thomas Hertl to the Wings for Dylan Larkin. And again, it's a rumor, but I'll tell you this, if that was a solid offer to Steve Yzerman, if I'm Yzerman, I run to that trade.
What is Pavel Doryaev's contract situation?
He's a restricted free agent, and so they're under the things I'm hearing, they're under a salary constraint. All the things that Vegas does, they're hurting for money. They got dead money in Peter Angelo, a big contract, and he's not even playing. They want to re-sign Rasmus Anderson, and he's going to take a ton of money. So they're going to try to switch some contracts. They'd like to have Larkin, obviously, but Hertl signed for 4 more years. That that would be a good move for us. He's a good center, big time, 24 goals. This Doryaev, he had 12 goals in the playoffs, Doug, and he had his last 2 years he had 37 and 35 goals. Yep.
I mean, did he cite where he heard this rumor? Was this was just look. I'm hesitant to give this any credence because we have no idea where it came from. Sounds a little too good to be true.
Well, and I agree with you on that, but I'll tell you one thing, to add to what Gator said earlier, there's not a way in the world the Red Wings are going to be involved in a trade for this goalie from Minnesota. There's just no way. We're stockpiling goalies now.
I didn't say that. I said that there's no way that they would hang on to him. There'd have to be a third team involved, where I think that if you're going to trade with Minnesota, he has to be part of it, but you're going to have to bring in another team, because that's where he would go. He wouldn't come to the Red Wings. I can't imagine he'd come to the Red Wings.
Or they would start selling off their goalies.
Yeah,
which they may do anyway. Doug, it's too good to be. It sounds too good to be true. But if that is an offer that he has from Vegas, I would run to that trade.
Yeah. What is this about trading a restricted free agent? What are the restraints there? Couldn't you also just make an offer for the player? Yeah, it ends
up being like a sign and trade, I would think. Yeah. But Hertl signed for 4 more years at $8.1 million, and he's already 33.
Yeah.
But he's been productive, but are you just going to run yourself into the same situation as you have with like JT Compher and Andrew Kopp, which feel like they're all the same kind of player?
Yeah.
That they were more productive before they were Red Wings, and then they got them on the downside, and this is the same thing that's going to happen with Hertl.
Feedback coming into the Carson Anderson inbox. Let's just hope a trade for Larkin includes another 160-pound, 5'8" Swede. That's from CJ, and I'm guessing that's sarcasm. Jim says, great. We give a team a proven first or second line center, and we get prospects. How many prospects worked out for the Wings so far? 1 hit out of 10. Looks like Wings fans get screwed again.
Well, Jim, got 2 that. Well, not even just 2. More than 2. You've got the Mo Seider and Lucas Raymond. I think Simon Edmondson's a really good piece for the future as well. And we're still undefined with several others, but they've missed on a ton before Yzerman got here. And, right now Marco Kasper doesn't look like that's panning out.
It's early, but yes, I'm not blown away, and I'm not blown away with the last couple of drafts, and I'm not blown away with any of the mid-round picks, but There's
Why?
because none of them were with the big
We
club.
don't see him
I get it, Jim.
yet.
I mean,
Yes.
you're counting on Steve Yzerman to do a better job at acquiring prospects that have played professional hockey, most of them, more so than guys in the draft. That's why the draft picks, I mean, the number 2 overall pick is something he's never had. If San Jose is seriously a contender here, and that I would feel like that would have to be part of a deal. Yzerman's never had that kind of draft capital. So
No, but then what did the person say that they didn't want? What type of player they didn't want?
they want a 5'8" Swede.
Well, he's 6 feet and 180 pounds, but is Swedish.
Yeah. Philly, Utah, San Jose, those are not contenders. How about we keep Larkin and go sell the house and farm to acquire Werenski?
Zach Werenski, the defenseman with Columbus, who is, I just read something yesterday that said that he's kind of disgruntled with how things have gone
Yep.
with Columbus.
Go get him a buddy. Go get Dylan a
Go get him a
buddy.
buddy. I keep saying in the back of my mind, man, I think there's this 5% chance that they can find a way to acquire players where Larkin ends up saying, wait a minute, I can work with this. I want to be part of this team.
It's interesting. We didn't play, but that Blackhawk podcast with Saravelli, they asked him, is there any scenario that he ends up back in Detroit? And he essentially said no. But I think it's more possible than Saravelli does.
Well,
Because I don't think it's 100% no. And he seemed to think it was 100% no.
let me ask you this. And I think I might know where you're going on this. If you were upset because the Red Wings didn't get Quinn Hughes, with the package of players was rumored to be shipped off in that,
Yep.
would you offer that same package or a similar package for Werenski? Because they're very similar players.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think about it. And look, everything doesn't have to be Team USA, go blue guys coming back.
No.
And I want to make that clear. But if Dylan Larkin, if one of the reasons he's unhappy is because of the direction of the Wings and he wanted to go play with some of the Team USA guys, why don't the Red Wings go get one of those guys, which would make him better immediately and perhaps appease their star player.
Yeah, just so people know, Zach Werenski, a defenseman, had 22 goals last year and 81 points in 75 games.
John in Lake Orion says Larkin could be a fit for the Sharks because it would definitely establish a team identity. San Jose has been faceless since the days of Joe Thornton.
Well, San Jose's incredibly young. You know, they're being led by Celebrini, who's outstanding, and Will Smith. These are two really young players just starting their careers. And, you know, Celebrini came on the second half of last year and ended up with 115 points last season. I mean, that's a guy you absolutely build around. Will Smith, 59 points in 69 games. They're young. They're going to go for it. And to add, it makes sense for them to add a guy like Dylan Larkin. I think it would make sense for them. Would it make sense for them to give up that second overall pick?
It's enticing for sure for Detroit. This is a crapper get off the pot for Stevie. No disrespect. He's still a unique person. Second greatest all-time player. We would all love his job. That's from an unnamed texter. I'm glad none of us have that job. But, yeah, I mean, everything we say about Larkin and the criticisms comes with the loved you as a player, rooted for you like crazy, tons of respect. You've built one championship team. It's not working here, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Let's get to some Tiger talk. And you got a thought you want to follow up on. We'll get to that today at 11:02. It's Carson Anderson on 97.1.
Brought to you by Rapid Roofing. Detroit's women's hockey team made its blockbuster trade official today. PWHL Detroit is acquiring Team USA gold medal captain Hillary Knight from Vegas in exchange for the number 3 overall pick in the 2026 draft. Detroit will pick third in the 5 other rounds after conceding the 3rd overall pick for Knight, who had 5 goals and 14 points last season after battling a long-term injury. The 2026 PWHL draft starts tomorrow night at the Fox Theater in downtown Detroit. The 6th-round draft concludes on Wednesday. In golf news today, Brooks Koepka is going to play in the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills this weekend, despite withdrawing from the RBC Canadian Open with a hand injury last week. Koepka is a 5-time major winner and 2-time U.S. Open champ. He last won the national championship in 2018 when it was held at none other than Shinnecock Hills. The Tigers will face the Houston Astros tonight in an interesting pitching matchup for both starters. Framber Valdez will face his former team after signing with the Tigers in free agency this offseason. Houston starter Hunter Brown will face his hometown team after growing up in Metro Detroit and attending Wayne State collegiately. First pitch is coming up at 8:10 tonight right here on 97.1. Pregame coverage begins at 7:45. And we've got 3 more World Cup games today in France, Senegal at 3 o'clock, Iraq, Norway at 6, and then the night concludes with Argentina and Algeria at 9 p.m. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Shabath. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
All right, just to wrap up the Red Wing discussion, although open lines, if you want to keep going, you can at 248-539-9797. It's a fascinating offseason crossroads for this organization. We were just talking about Yzerman, and you had another thought, but we were up against a hard break.
Yeah, the other thought is with people thinking it was because you said it's a crap or get off the pot moment for him. Mm-hmm. The reality is the NHL draft, the first round of the draft is next Thursday. So it's just over a week that they have before that happens. I don't know if Yzerman feels compelled to get a deal done before then, or if he's just going to, let this thing play out. He's always looking for the best deal possible. But I would imagine some teams around the NHL might have a sense of urgency to get something done too. Particularly if they know that their bargaining chip is whether it's Florida with the number 9 pick or San Jose with the number 2 pick. If they wanted to do something like that, is that what's going to happen? We'll see. But I do find it curious to see if a deal does get done before the draft. And then, Tom, we got the NBA draft is next Monday. Are the Pistons going to get anything done before Monday when it comes to trades? Because we know trades happen fast and furious in the NBA on draft night.
Yeah, look, that is a ticking clock for Yzerman. It's a ticking clock, and he can use that as leverage as well, and tell organizations and teams that I've got a deal that I like. It involves draft capital, so I've got till next Thursday. So bring your best offer now. But there's pressure on him to get this right. He needs to get it right, and he needs to reshape the organization and do it in a home run fashion. And is there pressure on him? Yes. Should there be pressure on him? Yes. And this has to be a home run. Just has to be a home run. Okay, so let's talk about the Tigers. Wildly weird game last night. First of all, did you see that the two teams tied a Major League Baseball record? The first 11 outs of the game recorded all strikeouts.
Yeah.
All strikeouts. So the Tigers, they did score a run in the first, but struck out for all 3 outs. Then Drew Anderson.
I was going to say, they scored the run because they had, 2 walks and 2 hit batsmen scored the run.
Yep. Then Drew Anderson struck out everybody in the bottom of the first. Top of the second, Tigers scored another run on a McGonigal home run, but all 3 outs were strikeouts.
They clocked that.
And then in the bottom of the second inning, first 2 outs were strikeouts. The first 11 outs that were recorded were strikeouts before a ground out to first ended that streak. All in all, this is normally a terrible trend. Of the 27 outs for the Tigers yesterday, 18 were strikeouts.
That's insane.
That's the kind of thing that leads to a topic packed with phone lines and people bitching about their baseball team.
That's 2 out of 3, Doug.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Instead, they scored 9 runs and won 9-3. Wild, huh?
Very wild. When I didn't realize they'd struck out that much, and then they threw that number up on his screen with most strikeouts in the game were with compared to number of runs scored or whatever. There was one game where they scored, I think, 17 runs against a Pittsburgh team a few years ago, and yet they struck out like 20 times or something. But this one, 18 strikeouts and you score 9 runs. You don't really care about the strikeouts when you're scoring 9 runs. It bothers you at the time when you see bases loaded and 2 out and somebody strikes out.
One of them was Cole Keith, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, no, he didn't strike out, did he? Was that where he got hit by the pitch?
He got hit by a pitch and the run scored.
Did he strike out with runners on the corners maybe at one point in the game?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, I think it was like first and third. But Jahmai Jones had struck out, and I think Torkelson struck out. I know it happened to Jahmai Jones. We'll
get to Jahmai in a minute.
65 minutes into the show before we brought up his name. Yeah. So but you score 9 runs, hit 5 bombs. Okay, I'm all about it. You strike out 20 times. I think if you're going to score 9 runs, you don't care how many times you strike out. You can strike out 27 times. Win the game.
Yep. In the meantime, the bad news, the Gleyber Torres injury, we expect to hear something by 2. Actually, I just made that up as well. It's become my new thing. We hope to hear something today on what the long-term prognosis for Gleyber, but Hinch didn't have any information after the game, only called it discomfort in his side. They just got him back.
Yeah, it just for a week and a half or 2 weeks, whatever it was. It sucks because he is so vitally important. Listen to these numbers as they stack up against each other. One player has a 282 average. The other player has a 280 average. One player is a 390 on base percentage. The other player is a 395 on base percentage. One player is a 421 slugging. The other player is 395 slugging. Who are the players? Kevin McGonigal is the first player. Gleyber Torres is the second.
Right.
McGonigal's got the better slugging percentage. Gleyber has the better on base percentage. And they're pretty close in OPS when all is said and done. Gleyber Torres is a huge part of this Tiger machine going this year and moving forward if they can get to the playoffs. And yet it's also a free agent at the end of the season. And one that if you find yourself you realize that you're out of it at the trade deadline, he's gone.
Yep.
But if you find yourself in it, like I've said before, that I don't mind trading Skubal if I'm in it because I think they have enough pitching where they can handle that, and I don't want to let Skubal go for nothing. I know you and I disagree on that, and that's fine.
I disagree on they can trade Skubal and still compete part.
Yeah. Well, with Melton, who knows with Melton now that he didn't make the start yesterday, but that's a big part of my plan moving forward is that Troy Melton's a starting pitcher, but we'll see. But Torres was a guy that I'm not sure that you could get by. Trade him and still make the playoffs if that was your goal, and to see if he is going to be out. This really hurts on a couple of fronts. It hurts because it hurts the team, and the team may not be as successful trying to make the playoff run. It also hurts because if you thought you were going to trade him, trading damaged goods, a guy who's had an issue with a strained oblique now a second time in the season, that's not going to bode well for his return either. But the Tigers have options for second base. They do have options. Howie Lee he can play at second base, shortstop, or third base on this team.
I like Howie Lee.
I kind of like him too. I root for him. He's a short, compact swing, and he's got pop in the bat. Had a couple hits last night. He came into pinch hit for Torres, and thrown in that tough situation, and ends up with 2 hits in the game, and looks more confident now. And he has he was playing pretty well at the minors too. But with his whole roster situation, Howie Lee's not going anywhere. And if Gleyber Torres is out and they're going to bring somebody else up, it's interesting to see who they decide to bring up. And all the while, you still have this distraction of Jahmai Jones.
It feels like there is a strong possibility that we are looking at a future where an announcement at some point that Gleyber Torres is back on the injured list with a re-aggravation of the oblique strain. And it's idle speculation on my part. But if it's not that, I will be very pleased. But
I will as well. But I also wouldn't mind if he did spend some time there, even if it's something minor. Just look, you know what? Sit out, relax, get yourself healthy. We'll bring you back in a couple of weeks. Just take it easy. We've got guys that we can bring up. And
okay, so is this the Max Anderson window opening up?
Potentially, but I still go because they have Howie Lee can play second base and he hits right-handed. because if they wanted to, they can go get Jace Young, who has played second base. He's got like 200 games under his belt at second base in his minor league career. He could play second, and he's left-handed. But, we're talking about replacing Gleyber Torres, and yet what we really should be talking about is replacing Jahmai Jones, because it's another opportunity for him last night against left-handed pitching. Goes 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Great, he hit the ball kind of solidly the one time he put it in play, but it was 300 feet away and right to center field. So, and I heard AJ's comments the other day about, kind of explaining the situation, why he's here, but also putting it on, saying he's got to deliver. He didn't, again, with multiple opportunities, with runners on base, and he didn't. I don't want to get to that. I'm not that guy who's going to fly off the handle. It's malpractice and you can't, but let's be honest, he shouldn't be on this team. And it's nothing personal against Jahmai Jones. He's not getting the job done. Go get somebody who can. Now, to your point, does this open up that window for Max Anderson because he plays second base or can't play second base? It might, but his numbers have dropped significantly while he's been at Toledo as well. But those outfielders I keep talking about.
He did walk a couple times his last time out. Max Anderson did 2-walk game.
And he needs to.
I think that's his first of the year.
But Corey Julks and Ben Malgary, two guys play the outfield. These are I'm not even looking for a position when it comes to Jahmai Jones. I'm just looking for a right-handed bat.
You got two things going on at the same time. Yeah. One is a second base conversation, which is and you brought up Jahmai Jones. I just want everyone to keep in mind, just please remember that when Jahmai Jones gets DFA'd later this week or this weekend, remember that AJ laid down the roadmap. He talked openly about why Jahmai was here for the Cleveland and Houston series and the number of left-handed pitchers he might see coming out of the pen, et
last week when he talked to the morning show.
And he said specifically, but he's got to produce. Then after he failed in Cleveland, Cody Stavenhagen from the
Cody Stavenhagen.
Jesus. In 3-2-1. He writer for The Athletic, right? He had the long quote where he was praising Jahmai, what he's brought to the table for this organization, but then near the end said, but for this to be a successful strategy, Jahmai has to produce. I think it's clear that the finish line for Jahmai Jones in Detroit is the end of this Houston series. And barring some offensive explosion in the next couple of games, remember that AJ in code told us when he gets DFA'd later this week.
It maybe, I don't know. I would probably do it today if I were him, but I'm more punitive than he is. He's well more thought out than I am. But I also don't want the Gleyber Torres injury to extend Jahmai Jones' stay, because I don't think they're two separate things, and they should be treated separately, but at the same time.
248-539-9797. We'll get to more of your phone calls and feedback. Take a big picture look at what the Tigers are up against in terms of trying to climb back into this thing and what the path to get there really is. All that coming up today as we continue to talk Tigers here on Carson Anderson on 97.1. Hey, let me tell you about one of the best places in Detroit to go on a Tuesday. Double down your experience. That's right. The best sports bar in the state is bringing you two different specials every Tuesday. It starts with their Taco and Tequila Tuesday specials. They offer up 20% off all tacos, as well as their chips and queso and triple play, and $4 tall Twin Peaks light drafts and house margaritas. Imagine enjoying the ultimate man cave experience with the Global Soccer Championship every day. Local baseball team back on the diamond playing better. But the deals don't stop there, ladies. It's your day, too. Ladies' Day at Twin Peaks serves up 20% off all food, half off all wine and specials, Long Island's, T-shots, lemon drop martinis, and so much more. Twin Peaks, it's a great place to watch the game. It's a great place to go at the beginning of your bachelor party. It's a great place to go to celebrate your divorce, whatever. It's a great place to be to watch sports. That's what we're about here. And the menu is outstanding. And, of course, it's all served up by the hospitable Twin Peaks girls. Come take advantage of the best Tuesday lineup in the game. It's Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views. All right, so 248-539-9797. Let's go to Hobbs in Livonia. You're next on 97.1. Hello, Hobbs.
What's up, boys? I'll keep this short because it does depress me. On June 16th, we're talking about we really need Jahmai Jones. Here's the bottom line. This team.
Wait, what? What do you? Hold on. What do you mean? On June 16th, we're talking about we need
Jahmai Jones as a piece to add to this ball club. Here's the bottom line.
Nobody said you need Jahmai Jones as a piece. Everyone's saying Jahmai Jones has to go.
Oh, good. Okay, I misheard you because I thought if that's a piece to our ball club, we are screwed.
No, he's the last guy on the roster, and
it feels like it's almost over.
Supposed to be a specialist against left-handed pitching, and he can't.
But last night, you look at that ball game, and you're thinking to yourself from the outside looking in, okay, the guys are seeing it better. You know, it might be a jump start. They struck out 18 times last night. They put no pressure on defense. They don't put the ball in play enough. There is no shot this team is playing in October and November this year. Zero chance. No way. Way too many swings and misses. We can't cash a guy from third with less than 2 outs. We are screwed. We better be thinking about 2027.
Well, Hobbs, I'll tell you this, and sweet mic drop. The way that they are playing and have played for much of this season, what you said is accurate. What they're capable of is better than this. They've done it. What they've done in June has been better than that.
The stumbling block was the series against Cleveland.
If they play like crap, you're right, and they're capable of playing like crap, and they've shown long stretches of playing like crap. And if they're some better versions of themselves, like a correction factor, Colt Keith is going through a correction factor right now. Colt Keith, who's underperformed this year, is suddenly trying to find a mean, and he is. And that's a very, very helpful thing, as you saw last night. Did they win last night's game without Colt Keith? Maybe not. But they do. You can look for some guys who've been underperforming this year to get going. I think Torque is another one to keep an eye on. Does Torque have a streak to raise his batting average, to raise his OPS, to raise his slugging, to hit more home runs? Like, that's all, can he correct and get back to what he has been? In 2 of the last 3 years, he hit 31 home runs.
Yeah, Torkelson is still that guy who steps in the batter's box and could hit a home run at any time. He still is that guy, and he hit one last night. He's got 12 now on the season. I mean, he's probably going to end up with 25 to 30 home runs. He's that swing waiting to happen, and he's a streaky guy.
I got to tell you,
I wish you were more consistent, because there's nobody I root for more than Spencer Torkelson on this team.
Really?
Yeah, he's my Tiger.
Is he?
He's my Tiger. But I mean, I can't just.
I didn't realize that about you.
Yeah, but he's got to be better. He's got to be more consistent.
Yeah. Now, if they continue to do some things that have dug them the 16-game hole, no, of course they're not going to play in October. I'm keeping my eye out a little bit, and I'll tell you why you should too. Well, you can do whatever you want, Hobbs.
Well, they also won the game last night, cobbling together a pitching staff that thought that Troy Melton was going to start and didn't.
What gives them a chance, all right, is the American League right now. The last wild card team is a 500 team. That's the American League at this point. The Tigers are chasing 500. Now, they got a ways to go to get there.
They got a long ways to go.
But they're chasing 500. That's way easier than chasing 92, 93 wins. The American League allows a team like the Tigers, and remember the conclusion before the mic drop was there's no way they're playing in October this year. Somebody around 500 is going to be, most likely in the American League. So that's something to keep in mind. The starting pitching, it's been really good, and on paper, it should get better. The Tigers, in spite of all their injuries and all the starts that they've missed, their starting rotation's been in the top 10 in Major League Baseball in all the key categories: walks and hits per innings pitched, earned runs, batting average against, like the things that make you a good staff. And on paper, it should get better. Now, everything doesn't always go as planned. Like they lost the Skubal start the other day, although Skubal wasn't probably the reason why. I'm sure they Anyway, the long story short is they've got starting pitching. And the third thing is the correction factor that we just talked about, that a guy like Keith is going through now. And you wonder if there's one coming up for Torque. So anyway, it's something to keep an eye on. I realize that that's not a team that exactly sounds like a World Series contender, but that wasn't the conclusion that Hobbs brought to the table. Hobbs said there's no way they're playing in October. And I would say that it's a better chance than 0.0.
I would absolutely agree with that. Look, the pitching rotation is about to do a line change.
Right.
Out goes Troy Melton and what's his face, Jack Flaherty. In comes Verlander, Mize, and Skubal. Right? They're switching guys in, switching guys out, and I think the guys coming in are better than guys that are going out. We'll see how long Melton is going to be out for. I don't like hearing that there's back stiffness or back issues, but maybe it's just something simple and a little bit of rest, and he'll be good to go. Maybe he doesn't miss another start. I don't know. We'll find out by 2:00 today, Doug. It's completely inaccurate, but it's
completely made up. It's made up.
Thing.
It's not inaccurate.
It's our thing now.
We just make stuff up now when there's going to be big injury announcements.
Yeah, expect to hear by 2:00.
Yep.
But that plays a big role in where this team can go, because Troy Melton, I think, is counted on as being one of the better pitchers in this rotation. And when you're not sure what you're going to get with Verlander, who knows what we're getting with Verlander when he comes back? He pitched a simulated game. He looks like he's going to be in the rotation this weekend. I don't know. I feel confident that Tarek Skubal is back and that he'll be sharper his next start out. Casey Mize, don't know. He pitches, Wednesday in the series? Mm-hmm. That's tomorrow, by the way. We'll see. I still like the starting pitching on this team. That's going to have to carry this team. But in the meantime, other guys have started to pick up the hitting since June came around, and it's great. Unfortunately, one of those guys is Gleyber Torres, and now he might be out.
Well, that could be huge. There's no doubt about that. Let's go to Corey in Birmingham here next. Hello, Corey.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. Good morning.
What's up?
Guys, I love you guys. I listen to you every day.
Oh, thank you.
We got to stop this with this team. 85% of those players are minor leaguers. Like, how long are we going to? I just heard the Torkels is like.
Hold on. So hold on a second, Corey. I hope you're saying that's hyperbole. Not 85% of this team. Is
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, this team cannot hit. That's just the bottom line. The pitching.
That's hyperbole. This team is about average in hitting, and actually they've been well above that since June came back around. Not that they got their guys back.
Okay, I just don't see like if we're counting on Gleyber Torres to be the team carrier, like, we're in a world of trouble. Like,
why? Gleyber Torres is an all-star.
I understand.
But you're saying, all right, first of all, you start off saying 85% of this team is minor leaguers. And then you say this team can't hit. Those are both inaccurate statements. And mention Gleyber Torres,
who's
actually
hell
one
of
of the better
player.
players, who's got an OPS. What's his OPS up to? It's 790, which is, about 80 points higher than league average.
Well, I'm just trying to say, guys, like, I get what you're saying. I see, but I'm saying, like, so the rookie, the kid, McGonagall, he's great. I like him. He's your best player. He's the rookie of the team. Like, how long?
Do you realize that his slash line is very similar to Gleyber Torres? McGonagall's hitting 282. Gleyber's hitting 280. McGonagall's on base percentage 490. Gleyber's is 390. Gleyber's is 395.
So Gleyber is a superstar? Is that what you're saying?
No, Gleyber's as good as Kevin. You're praising Kevin McGonigal and saying Gleyber Torres is, but Gleyber Torres is doing extraordinarily similar things to Kevin McGonigal.
He's solid, but he's solid. He's not great defensively. There's a reason why the Yankees got rid of him. Nobody wanted him last year. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
I would tell you this.
As a team.
If he ends up getting traded at the trade deadline, I think they're going to get something for him. I think he'll be coveted at the trade deadline.
If he's healthy, he's got to show that he's healthy. But he was going out of his way to, I don't know, try to fit his narrative that his team can't hit. And the reality is, this team is probably right just above average when it comes to team OPS. I haven't looked at the team numbers against the rest of the league, but their team OPS is 712. Last week I went with some of the numbers. More than half of the lineup, 5 guys in their lineup, had well above average OPS.
They're in the
'Cause
middle of the
starting
pack.
to
They're
hit again.
18th in Major League Baseball in OPS. They're slightly below the middle, but
when you get
they've had some real big underperformers this year.
But you also get Kerry Carpenter back, and now he's got his 794 OPS. You got Gleyber Torres back and his 790 OPS. Those two bats in the lineup, that's not a small thing to get those guys back. That's why they're better than you think. All right? Are they a playoff team? Not going to say that just yet. They got to get on a real run to do that. And, they had that stumbling point over the weekend against Cleveland where they lost the series. That was too bad. Pitched well, couldn't hit in that series, and that harkens back to what we saw in May.
248-539-9797. More of your phone calls and feedback coming up. It's Carson Anderson here on 97.1. Doug Harsh, Scott Anderson, 97.1. Hope everybody's doing well on this Tuesday. You know what it's time for? The big old tub of pretzels question of the day.
All right.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Okay, so how this works is a lot of listeners send in random questions.
And we love the random questions.
So if you want your question answered, text it right now at 248-539-9797. Kang collects them. They eventually get put into this big old tub of pretzels. And which it used to contain pretzels. Now it just contains the question. It's empty. Yeah, there's no pretzels in there anymore.
Is there any pretzel aroma or essence?
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't call it essence. I'd call it stank.
Okay.
Pretzel stank. Yeah.
Wow.
We've had that tub for literally
Gator,
15 years.
What do you think, man?
I don't know. I didn't know
It's
if it
not
would
like-
still smell like pretzels.
It's like your potatoes. They get bad eventually.
All right. So we got some questions from the listeners.
They do.
Let's go.
All right, question number 1. If you are grilling outside, this is good topical topic here. Question. If you are grilling outside in your backyard and your neighbor comes up and says hi, are you obligated to offer him some food? Ooh, what if you've only cooked enough for the family, Doug? Right? You've got enough for just you, the wife, and the kids.
It's funny because I like to think of myself as a good neighbor, and yet my first instinct is no, you're not obligated.
Oh no, you don't say anything.
But
It's got them sweet chicken breasts and that barbecue sauce.
It does depend a lot on how much you've cooked. Typically, when I grill, the thought is we're grilling here for dinner, and also tomorrow's lunch. So if we're doing chicken breasts, which we do a lot, I will cut up a couple chicken breasts and mix them in with a salad that people can take for lunch the next day. However, if there's extra food, but
then in your mind,
usually I've rationed it off. I've got
Yes,
plans for
that's
every
what I'm
last
saying.
morsel. So
Doug, in your mind, you're going to be like, damn it, I don't have lunch for
you know
tomorrow.
what I do? You know what I do? You want a beer? Offer beer.
Gator, what do you do?
At best, I'd offer a beer. Get away from my grill.
Wow.
Get out of my grill.
Not even.
No.
Okay, what if he says, that smells really good what you're cooking, Gator?
Yeah, I can't wait to have
I want a
it.
beer.
So that's how you guys treat your neighbors, huh?
No, that makes us sound like bad neighbors, doesn't
does.
it? Yeah.
No, the only time I'm going to offer them is if I wanted ahead of time, but I was a little shy to ask them. And I'm making a lot outside. Hey, you want to come over for?
No, this guy just shows up uninvited.
Absolutely not.
He just
There's
says,
no
hey,
obligation.
he saw you outside.
Not even a small obligation.
No?
And I said, at best, it'd be, hey, you want a beer? And only if I've got a bucket of beer sitting next to me, which is likely if you're grilling. You typically have a cooler full of beer or something.
This is true.
Guys, what if you there's multiple just mentions of how good what what your cooking smells, and I see you got corn there too, huh? He's just saying it
He's totally fishing for an offer.
Then the opposition comes even stronger. Hit to the store, man. It's good stuff. It's easy.
Yep.
Go do it.
Got the corn.
I'm inspiring you. I'm glad we're giving you some inspiration to do something. And get off your lazy ass and stop asking and begging for
Wow,
food.
like your neighbor, dude. Good Lord. All right, Doug. Well, we know Doug used to
I
just...
stop with a beer.
All right, that's it?
Yep.
All right. Glad I'm not neighbors with you guys. All right,
Right.
next question. If you had to get a tattoo of a state on your body, not Michigan, what state would you get? What? I don't know, man. It's a random question, dude. So pick another state that you would have to get a tattoo.
Wyoming.
Yeah.
And just get a square or a rectangle.
whatever. Uh-huh.
Probably Montana. Big fan of the state
you
of
go.
Montana.
Right across your back.
I talk about
Big Montana on your back, man. Just a huge square on your
Wow, this guy really likes Montana. Is that Montana? Is that Idaho? It's Montana! Not Idaho.
Is that Wyoming? No?
it would be smaller and inconspicuous. But you said if I have to,
Yes.
it's the state of Montana.
Gator, what state you going with?
Great state of Texas. I don't know. When I was a kid, I loved the state of Texas. I remember I was in kindergarten, first grade. I was in first grade, and I was selected to do a report and work with a sixth grader and work on a state report. And I got to pick the state, and I picked Texas. And love the city of Austin. Been to Dallas. Enjoyed Dallas.
Okay.
It's an interesting shape of a state with the panhandle, and almost like it's got horns on either side. I like Texas.
What about you?
I'll answer it in a second, but Doug, you notice how, like, Gator, you could pick something you like as an adult. You don't have to pick something you like as a kid.
I don't mind Texas. Red, white, and blue. The whole bit.
All right. The first thing he goes, well, I like Texas as a kid.
And I always have.
I know. All right.
It goes way back. Yeah. What about you, Kang?
I would go with Nevada because you could play out Las Vegas if you had to. You know, like if like all of a sudden I got addicted to tattoos, you know how they say one leads to another?
Yep.
Just make it all into big, like, focus around Las Vegas then.
Welcome.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right above your butt.
Be Nevada.
Wow.
Jeez, Gator. Transits is welcome.
No, move it away from that area.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Oh, that must be downtown.
Wow. Let's get to the next question in a hurry.
Yeah.
Like a minute ago.
Okay. If you had to subscribe to a monthly delivery subscription, what would you have delivered to your house? Like one of those monthlies. Like every month you're getting a package of something. What would you get?
So I had a recurring one that has run out because apparently the product is no longer available. We literally were getting.
Yeah, you liked it.
Every 2 weeks we were getting from Amazon Gatorade Cucumber Lime Zero because I couldn't find it in stores anymore. And my wife set this up that every 2 weeks another 8-pack would be sent to the house. And guess what? Amazon has run out.
Let me help you out.
Yeah.
Target.
I have not seen the Cucumber Lime Zero.
Oh, I don't know about Zero.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I saw the Cucumber Lime at Target.
Something that subscription service. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm gonna need more chicken breast because I'm feeding my neighbor now.
Oh.
Or something from Montana because you love it so much.
Bison of the month.
Yeah. Well, that's what I would do. I would do like the Omaha steak thing. Like have steak show up to my.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, right.
It's not a bad one. It would probably be the thing. Honestly, it probably would be chicken breast.
For me, it'd be tequila of the month.
Oh, there you go. Nice. And you don't even know what's coming. It's like a vine,
don't
right?
know.
Just,
I love trying different tequilas, and every time I go to the store, if I get a bottle of tequila, it's something different. I don't like to get the same thing twice, unless there are some staples I have for mixing drinks or whatever that I just have on hand for groups of people. But for me personally, tequila of the month. I want to try something new.
Go one more.
That's kind of badass. Yeah, let's do one more.
All right.
That's how I roll, Doug.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, this one might be old. It's hard to open. All right, here we go. Rank these: spaghetti, lasagna, chicken parm, fettuccine alfredo.
All right, want me to start?
Yep.
I'm gonna go. Bringing up the rear is fettuccine alfredo.
Ooh,
it's delicious, but I mean, it's like the worst thing in the world to eat.
What?
Chicken parm is terrible for you. I'm sorry.
You said
fettuccine alfredo is terrible for you.
Oh, you mean like I thought you meant taste wise.
No, I think it's delicious. I said it's terrible for you. So
okay,
I
terrible
got
for you, healthy wise. Right.
Yeah. I think I would go chicken parm next, but the next three are all really good. I like chicken parm, but I'm going to put it third. And I'm going to go with spaghetti. Lasagna is so great. I love lasagna. It's got to be number one.
You like the red sauces?
Well, I mean, I love fettuccine alfredo, but it's terrible. It's all cream in it. It's not good.
Yeah, Alfredo is to pasta sauce what mayo is to condiments to me. It's fourth on my list by far. Spaghetti is 3, chicken parm 2, and lasagna is number 1. Yeah, lasagna. I don't care. My mom is for Christmas for years made this turkey lasagna that is fantastic. I've had veggie lasagnas that are tremendous, and so I think lasagna is spectacular, and so it's number 1.
All right, so I'm gonna my strategy here going into this is I'm gonna rank spaghetti last, not because I don't like it. I love spaghetti, but spaghetti is wildly different. I feel like wherever you go, like I just feel like it can be too off the board, or it could be great. It could be just weird. I've had sweet spaghetti. I've had other spaghetti. So I'll put it fourth for that reason. Fettuccine next. Lasagna and chicken parm because I feel like chicken parm is the most consistent. I'm just going with what I feel like I'm going to get, like, you know, the same thing every single time more consistently. So chicken parm is 1 for me.
Wow. I like spaghetti a lot. I
love spaghetti.
Angel hair spaghetti, angel hair pasta, and then it's all about adding extra Parmesan cheese.
You like meat sauce, or do you like just the marinara?
I prefer a meat sauce, but just regular red marinara is
I'm
fine.
not going to ask you, Doug. I know what you prefer.
And there it is. That concludes another edition of the Big Old Tub of Pretzels. If you want to get your questions answered, Text them right now, 248-539-9797, so Ken can cut and paste them, put them in the tub for next time here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1. Hey, you're injured? You know what to do. Call Sam. Everyone knows that Sam Bernstein Law will fight for you. Seen the results his family gets, and you don't pay anything unless they win for you. Get the Bernstein advantage today at 1-800-CALL-SAM. Some kind of good news here. Sounds like Sam Laporta is trending in to be back by training camp. So, in a Tyler season that has been ravaged by injuries, it's nice to see that. That looks like we will have one of the injured Detroit Lions back in time for the season.
I would hope so. I mean, it was one I was kind of expecting, and it's good news, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Not I guess it's good news, but it was something that I was counting.
It's just good
on.
to see confirmation that everything's going in the right direction.
Well, they have mini camp today and tomorrow.
Because here's what it sounds like: Laporta trending to be back, everything's good. Looks like he's going to be good to go. Branch, not quite as sure.
Probably
looks like but it's going to be a while. Probably too early to tell, but it looks like midseason at the best. And Kirby Joseph is a wild unknown. I mean, a wild unknown. And it feels like it's in play that we'll never see him play again. It feels like it's in play. But that is just sort of given the uncertainty. When you have this much uncertainty, I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's, I'm just crossing. I think we cross our fingers on that one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
248-539-9797. Carson Anderson here on 97.1. Okay, so here's some reaction coming into the big old tub of pretzels. Doug and Gator's neighbors are listening right now and will never come over ever again when they are grilling. So I've invited a neighbor over while I'm grilling.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it's usually, hey, you want a beer?
I don't grill outside anymore. My grill is, I'm not even sure where my grill is, in my garage somewhere. When they redid the kitchen, I have a grill in the kitchen.
It's not something you do a lot of.
And I don't grill a ton, no.
Next text, if you steal your neighbor's propane, you're not a good neighbor. Okay, do we need, look, this is apparently wildly out of bounds.
People never forget.
Doug.
No, they don't, but I think it's a net positive for the neighbor. He got a full tank of propane out of the exchange, and he had no idea. And that was, people who missed it, years ago, I ran out of propane while cooking. Went and knocked on my neighbor's door. He wasn't there. His grill's out back. I took his propane, finished grilling, returned my empty canister, and got a full one, and hooked the full one up to his grill and told him what I did.
After the fact.
Well, he wasn't home, and so I told him, hey, by the way, you've got a full tank of propane.
Hey, I stole your car, used it to rob a bank, but I filled it up with gas and put it back in your garage. We good?
If you think that's an equivalency, then that doesn't sound good at all.
Am I wrong, gang? Am I wrong?
I think in your scenario, Doug, you have to offer him food.
Nobody wants barbecued kale anyway, and that's from an unnamed texter. Would
Facts.
Doug make it a Montana tramp stamp? No, I wouldn't. A big Florida tat on my thigh near my crotch. That's from an unnamed texter. This just in,
So
Doug and
the
Gator
panhandle,
both
you're
get
just happy to see me.
Jordan in a shop. Doug and Gator will both get weird looks now from their neighbors. I don't think there's anything wrong with offering somebody a beer.
They want food.
I'm
Spaghetti.
friendly with my neighbors when I see
Let me
them.
put it to you like this. If part of your dinner plan is to wander over to your neighbor's house while they're grilling, expecting to get food, I think you're out of bounds.
Right. Hey, Mooch.
Spaghetti. We just returned from a trip to Memphis and tried barbecue spaghetti for the first time. It is amazing. Look it up. It's life-changing. Slow-cooked sauce for 6 hours with chunks of brisket. That's from Jerry in Indiana.
Gator, would you try that?
I mean, I tried. It's nothing I don't love barbecue, so.
Oh, man.
It's okay. I mean, I recognize I'm in the minority.
Uh-huh.
I'm in the minority.
And that's
fine.
not real spaghetti anyways. We're talking like Italian red sauce, you know.
Yeah, I want spaghetti with real spaghetti sauce, not the barbecue sauce. I like barbecue sauce, and look, I like pulled pork and pulled chicken. I don't love brisket.
Too fatty for you.
A little too fatty.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
That's
all
why
right.
Doug doesn't eat it.
Yes, in some ways it is. Hey, look, I was never outraged about the Brendan Sorsby case, which now has apparently reached a conclusion. And it was because I thought there's no chance in hell he will ever see the field at Texas Tech. In spite of their judge and their injunction, there was no way that was ever going to happen. And now he has declared that he will part ways with Texas Tech and enter the NFL supplemental draft. And look, that was a saga. I think Texas Tech, it looks terrible. I think their board of trustees or their athletic director and whoever he sat there, they cut that video with. I think they look terrible. It was, they crossed that line that can't be crossed in sports. And I don't know what the case is for not banning a player for life. I don't know what it is, and I don't know how much this hurts him in terms of the NFL. He might be the greatest kid ever who had a real problem. He really might be, and you can see why people want to go to bat for a young person that they really believe in that overcame an addiction. But there's some things in sports that just cannot be compromised. Gambling on games is one of them, and it's probably the number one. And it's always been the case, and this has never been a debated point. Nobody's ever called up and said, if we open up the phone line and said, hey, should players be allowed to gamble in any sport? There's never an argument that they should. There might be some nuance to this case, but it really feels pretty much open and shut, black and white as it could possibly be. And Scott, there was incredible outrage, and I'm just like, just sit back and wait. There's no way this kid's ever going to play.
I never thought that it was going to be possible until last week when we saw the ruling come down, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And because of the way it came down, I was even more defiant about it. Like, there's no way that anybody's going to allow this to happen. It's going to be, litigation is going to be through the roof. In the meantime, you're going to see teams backing out of commitments against Texas Tech, and sure enough, that started to happen. The University of Michigan did too with
there was some
softball or something like that, or one sport, volleyball, whatever it was, that they were going to back out, and they should all follow suit. And I understand what Texas Tech was trying to do. They're trying to put the best team out there on the field. They paid for this kid. They want to get a return on that investment, and there's we have a ruling. I mean, he's going to have to sit out the first 2 games, but it's not our fault that the judge isn't going to hear this case until February after the national championship game, which makes them look a little more precious thinking that they're going to be in the national championship game. But it's a situation that it doesn't benefit him well. It certainly doesn't benefit Texas Tech if he had stuck around. I actually like this outcome. This makes sense. Okay, your college career is done. They're telling you your college career is done because you did something you just can't do. You did cross that line. And because of it, sorry, you're out. Supplemental draft is the way to go. You're going to miss out on a giant paycheck you would have gotten if you had kept your nose clean and been a rookie, but it's not the case. So now everything's accelerated. We'll see if he gets drafted. If he does, is it going to be second round, third round, fourth round? I guess the odds favorite is to be drafted in the third. That's 3-1 odds. And then I saw it was 4-1 odds to be drafted in the second or the fourth.
It's funny because a couple years ago, whenever, I don't know. I remember us talking about the quarterback class of next year, and I brought up the name Sorsby because I thought he was one to keep an eye on that could be a nice mid-round pickup for the Detroit Lions. Then all this saga played itself out. Wherever, for people who don't know how the supplemental draft works, if you take a kid in the supplemental draft, you lose that draft pick in the next draft. So if you use it, and everybody gets to go, whoever had the first pick. Who had the first pick of this past draft? Why am I blanking? Who had the first pick of this past draft?
Wow.
Kang, who had the first pick of the past draft? Jets?
Why
I don't know, dude. I don't know why I brought it up. But they're on the clock. It was the Raiders. They took Fernando Mendoza.
They took Mendoza. I'm like, who's the quarterback?
The Raiders will get their first round pick. They'll get to go first. They can pass, and they will. Then it's up, and everybody will pass and pass and pass, and you'll just move down the draft order all the way through 7 rounds. And if somebody takes it, they lose their pick in the coming draft. So anyway, that saga's over. 97-1.
Brought to you by Michigan Lottery. Dan Campbell spoke to the media at OTAs today. He was asked if he wants to get wide receiver Isaac Tesla more touches in the future. And PWHL Detroit made its trade for Hilary Knight with Vegas official today. Detroit will send the number 3 overall pick in this year's draft to Vegas in exchange for Team USA's gold medal winning captain. Knight had 5 goals and 14 points in an injury-shortened season. They are. They might only get her for 1 year. She had 14 points in an injury-shortened season last year with Boston, but the year before, she led the league in points in 2025 when she played in all 30 games for the Fleet. The draft starts tomorrow and ends Thursday at the Fox Theater downtown. The Tigers announced some minor schedule changes today. Their home game on June 22nd against the Yankees has been moved up from 6:40 to 6:10 due to the fireworks downtown. And then on September 13th, they will play the Rockies at 12:10 instead of 1:40 due to the Lions season opener against the Saints. Tonight, the Tigers face the Astros at 8:10 down in Houston. Pre-game coverage starts right here on 97.1 at 7:45. Hunter Brown, the starting pitcher for the Astros, against Framber Valdez for your Tigers. And we've got 3 World Cup games today, including the defending champion Argentina and Lionel Messi, who will face Algeria at 9 o'clock tonight. France was the runner-up last year. They're going to face Senegal today at 3 o'clock. At the Corewell Health Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Shabat. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
So this just happened also a couple minutes ago. Sorry to cut you. Didn't hear
sure?
this one. Yeah, it's from the Vegas Golden Knights. It's their press release. The general manager, Kelly McCrimmon, announced today that John Tortorella will not return to the team's coaching staff following this season. Gone to the Stanley Cup Finals.
I really wish they would not release breaking news in the middle of the update.
There it is.
At least give me a couple seconds of buffer right before,
We thank Torts for the guidance he provided our team since joining the organization back in March, said McCrimmon. When the decision was made to bring Torts to Vegas, we needed an immediate impact to help us at a pivotal point in the season. Torts' experience and leadership proved to be the boost that we were looking for, helping guide us to the Stanley Cup Final. We're grateful for Torts' passion, sincerity, and commitment to our organization. We wish him and his family the best. Now, I don't know if John Tortorella took the job and said, I'm only doing this for the rest of the season, and then I'm gone. Or if typical with John Tortorella in his career, he wore out his welcome quickly enough, and then he's gone. I feel like he's coached a bunch of teams for not a long
Seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right, well, there it is. I feel like there's more to this story, and we'll find out very soon.
Interesting.
Yep.
But what he did with Vegas was pretty incredible this year.
Okay, so was last night's Tiger game. Kind of wild and weird all at the same time. We'll start with the wild, weird stuff. The first thing is that the first 11 batters, outs of the game were strikeouts. Not the first 11 batters, but the first 11 outs were strikeouts, which tied a Major League Baseball record. This is 2 teams, top of the first, 3 strikeouts, bottom of the first, 3 strikeouts, top of the second, 3 strikeouts, bottom of the second, 2 strikeouts, and then a ground out to first from Houston ended the streak. That was kind of weird. The Tigers scored 9 runs and struck out 18 times. That was kind of weird. The wild part, Colt Keith hit 3 bombs, hit a 2-run homer in the third to put the Tigers up 4-0. Then yanked one down the left field, or the right field line, rather, a 2-run shot to make it 8-3. And then in the 9th, popped one up out into the Crawford box there. That short porch and left, an opposite field shot to make it 9-3. What we can hope here is that Colt Keith is going through a wild correction factor. Let's start, Gator, though, with the 9 runs scored, but 18 strikeouts. That you don't see every day.
No, you don't see that every day. It was quite remarkable to see that. But yet, when you're hitting the ball out of the ballpark with some regularity, albeit you don't expect Colt Keith to come up with a 3 home run night, but he did. You can live with that. 18 strikeouts is way too much swing and miss.
Yep.
9 runs to score, though, is way more than expected. You're scoring twice as much as you expect to, and you're probably striking out twice as much as you expected to. I don't think that's a recipe for what's going to happen the rest of the season. I think that was obviously a statistical anomaly. They had a pitcher they were facing last night that threw a wicked breaking ball. Also threw it all over the place. So it was either you stand up there and don't swing the bat, and you probably had a good chance to walk or get hit, or you're going to swing and miss.
And he did a lot of both.
Yeah.
Hit a lot of batters.
Hit
and
2 batters.
Yep. But the Tigers' offense was pretty good, and the worst part about last night was more injuries. Troy Melton, a back, made him miss the start. Drew Anderson came in and did a good job, and I want to get to Drew here in a minute. And then Gleyber Torres, and this sucks because he's a key contributor. You did the stat line comparison. Offensive stats between Gleyber Torres and Kevin McGonigal are really similar. If you love McGonigal, you're getting like another McGonigal at second base in terms of offensive production. Gleyber Torres has been really, really good for this team. And I don't know. It just looks like it's a re-aggravation of the oblique that kept him out a few weeks. And, it's probable that it feels like he's probably looking at another stint on the injured list. I'm speculating, and I've been told years ago not to speculate on injuries, and I'm doing it anyway. But
if
it doesn't look good.
No, if he's out, and you're right, it didn't look good. It wasn't one of these things say, hey, you want to take a couple swings, practice swings, make sure. No, he just immediately went to the dugout.
And it doesn't look good because it looks like it's the same injury.
Yeah, exactly. And re-aggravating that is problematic. He's been a very good player for this team. Was part of the resurgence we saw when the clock struck June. What? Calendar turned to June.
Yeah. Go with clock struck. That's
clock
great.
Struck June. When that happened, obviously he's part of the reason the Tigers were able to win some games because he is a quality hitter. He is literally an all-star. They need to have him on this team. But he left the game. Hao Yuli came in, played second base, had a couple of hits. I don't know what Hao Yuli is going to be the rest of the season with this team, but I like Hao Yuli. I know you like Hao Yuli. It's a rookie season. It's going to be lots of ups and downs, and got to be patient with that. But he'll get an opportunity if Gleyber's going to be out, and yet he's already on this roster. Now, if Gleyber's going to miss time, then it opens up a roster spot. How will the Tigers fill that? And then you've got the whole separate issue of Jahmai Jones and his failures. And does that open up another roster spot? Do the Tigers have 2 roster spots they got to fill?
Most likely, yeah. And
we're not even talking about Troy Melton, which might be a 3rd.
Sure. And we don't know how serious that back injury is. We'll await updates today. As far as Torres is concerned, it could be Jace Young gets called back up. It could be Max Anderson, who is, been a promising prospect down at Toledo, a second baseman, who at the beginning of the year when he was really hitting the ball, people were calling us and asking us, why isn't he getting called up? And there's 2 big reasons. One is he's not going to get called up to sit on the bench and play a part-time role. This is a guy that you have like full-time expectations for eventually being an everyday player. And so you want him to get as many at-bats and as much seasoning as you can and that gets stunted if he calls up and plays once every 3 days, once every 4 days in Detroit, or pinch hits here and there. So now, if you're playing must-win baseball down the stretch, you can stunt the growth for a month and a half and just bring him up because you're trying to you got to win. But as in the here and the now, there's that, and there's the fact that he wasn't walking. Well, he started to walk. In fact, the time we looked it up, he had 1 walk the entire season. So he was doing one of the things that Scott Harris emphasizes, the strike zone and being able to. But now he's walking more, right? So he could get called up. As far as Jahmai Jones is concerned, look, he said it in code, but AJ, I thought, spelled it out on his morning show appearance last week. Jahmai's got the Cleveland and the Houston series to start to produce. Every time he talks about him, he does what managers and coaches do. If a guy is on your roster, you support them, you back them. Even if you know the clock is ticking on that guy's roster spot, you support him and back him. Otherwise, you start to undermine their chance of success. He made it pretty clear why he was up for the Cleveland and Houston series. And every time he talks about Jahmai, he says, but he's got to produce to make this plan. For this strategy to be productive, he's got to produce, and he's not. And he didn't again last night. And, the bottom line here is I don't be surprised if he gets DFA'd at the end of this week.
I won't be. I won't be surprised if he's DFA'd today. I just won't be because was 0 for 3 last night, 2 more strikeouts. These are situations are to his advantage. He's facing left-handed pitching, which is the only reason he's on the roster, is to hit lefties. And he did an excellent job of it last year. But every game this year that gets played is another game where we're further removed from what happened last year. And this year he's not hit at all. He's hitting 144 on the season. He's not hitting lefties at all either. I mean, he hasn't. I don't think he's got a hit against righties. He only got like a dozen at bats against right-handed pitching. It's time to move on. And you got a guy like Corey Julks in the minors who is not a stranger to getting a cup of coffee in the major leagues. He's 30 years old. His OPS on the season is 919, but against lefties, it's close to 1,000. He draws a bunch of walks, a 393 on base percentage. If you don't like that route, you can go bring Ben Malgary in there, and he's got an OPS of 944 right now, a 416 on base percentage. He's killing left-handed pitching as well. I'm only looking for a guy that's going to hit. I don't care about position flexibility because Jahmai Jones wasn't position flexibility. You just need the right-handed bat. If Torres is going to go out and you're going to get a chance to bring up another bat, why not bring up Chase Young, whose on-base percentage is 115 points better than his batting average. He's got a 766 OPS and is hit for some power. He's got 10 home runs right now for Toledo. So they've got options at Toledo that they can bring up, even if they're not ready to bring up Max Anderson. If they want to see him season a little bit more before he gets his chance, I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem if Jahmai Jones is going to stay on this roster past this series.
I don't expect it. With that said, Scott, a couple of looky-here performances last night I want to get into and get your thoughts on. Then the latest on Dylan Larkin. Are things afoot? That at 12:30. It's Carson Anderson on 97.1.
Summer is here, and if you didn't get your air conditioning tuned up this spring, well, you're officially playing beat the clock against the humidity here in Michigan. Do not wait until you're sweating through a July heat wave to find out that your system is down. Do what I did. Call Birmingham Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling right now. Whether it's a quick AC check to make sure that those energies are going to stay down or that your pool boiler needs a tune-up for peak swimming season, these guys are the local pros. From hot showers to crisp living rooms, Birmingham Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has you covered. Visit them at birminghamplumbingco.com. That's birminghamplumbingco.com. Birmingham Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, your Metro Detroit boiler experts.
Doug Harsh, Scott Anderson, 97.1. Okay, couple looky here performances. What do you make of Drew Anderson these days?
Looky here.
Yeah.
I think Drew Anderson is an asset to this team. I think he's got a role to play on this team. And, I mean, throwing it to duty yesterday, it's not easy when you find out a couple hours that, hey, you got to start, by the way.
Yep.
But I don't think he's great. I think he's a solid guy to have in the bullpen that can give you anywhere from 1 to 3 innings worth of work if you need it. Maybe more if you really need it, but I figure Ty Madden will be that guy. But Drew Anderson is, I think he's a nice piece to have on this team.
His first 10 appearances in Detroit with the Tigers, he gave up 11 earned runs. Since then, he has really settled down. He's given up 9 since in another about almost 20 appearances.
Almost 30 innings.
The performance yesterday, emergency break glass starting performance, was more than fine. To get him into the third inning, he gave up the 1 earned run, but struck out 5, which was pretty impressive, and has started to, I mean, fine coming in out of the pen, too. He's been really pretty darn good with him. Not great in the Cleveland, the game he appeared in Cleveland. Is he also starting to resemble Goose from the original Top Gun with the little mustache? Is anybody else seeing that? Is it just me?
I'm not sure if you are so desperate to come up with a movie reference that this one fits your narrative, and thank God for you, or if you're actually right on this.
Well, I was watching last night, and I'm like, who does he look like? He looks like, and it was racking my brain. I'm like, he's Goose from Top Gun.
There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I think this is the mustache. I think that's the look, the vibe I'm getting. The other thing is Tyler Holton. What are your thoughts on Tyler Holton?
Well, Tyler Holton has been a big part of this team in the past.
Mm-hmm.
He's a left-handed arm that they could use in clutch situations.
He went through a real rough stretch last month.
He did. Well, and his earned run average for the month of May was 3.46. It's 1.29 this June.
I'm going to bring up his game log.
Yep.
Because he went through a stretch where it was like he wasn't getting anybody out. 4 appearances against the Mets, Toronto, and 2 against Cleveland. He went 3, 4 and a third and gave up 4 earned runs. Gave up 7 hits. Yeah, he had a rough stretch there. But again, really good yesterday. I feel like if they could add a couple bullpen arms, and are they going to be starters? Are they going to be repurposed starters? Is there going to be somebody from AAA? They're going to make a move. Because for this team to do anything, they just have to be better than they've been most of this year out of the bullpen. So I'm looking, man. I'm looking at Drew Anderson. I'm looking at Tyler Holton.
What scares me about the arms that may or may not be there at Toledo is they've gotten some chances with the Tigers, and they've looked awful.
Yep.
And yet they've looked dominating at Toledo.
Waga's back, who gave up the back-to-back home runs last night. Probably not an answer.
Who did that? I'm sorry.
Waga's back.
Yeah,
Jacob Waga's back.
Whoever who Wagu's back is. But yeah.
Might be in the ballpark.
But guys like Drew Sommers and Hannafy, those are guys that just look bad as Tigers, but look really good in the minors. So you just don't know what you have. It's when guys get healthy, it feels like you're going to have a bullpen that has several options to go long innings out of the bullpen, as opposed to just, hey, you're a 1-inning guy. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Right. And then the other thing is, and we've kind of glossed over it. Kevin McGonigal's so good. He is so good. He, in many ways, he's exceeded realistic expectations for this season. Like, this is a case scenario where all the hype, as it grew and it grew and it grew, all appears to be worth it. I mean, halfway through this guy's rookie year, and we had a caller call that said like 7 things that we disagreed with, but the one thing he said was McGonigal's their best player. And I'm like, I'm not even sure if that's true, but he's in the conversation. And you can make a case, certainly. I haven't really sat down to go over it. But the home run last night, he added a couple of walks. He singled. He's on base all the time. His glove is fine, and they can hit him at leadoff.
Well, for now they can. I don't think that's where he slots when, a couple years from now when you probably have Max Clark leading off, or if Parker Meadows gets healthy.
And produces.
But I feel like Parker Meadows' ship is sailed pretty much, and now that we haven't seen him in forever.
He's so steady Eddie. Not Parker Meadows. It was Kevin McGonigal.
McGonigal. I was like Parker Meadows.
No, sorry.
But McGonigal has been steady. He draws a ton of draws walks, and he doesn't strike out. So it makes it look like he walks even more because he's not swinging and missing all that much. He's got, I think, is it 44 to 40 walks to strikeouts this year. He's hitting well. He's starting to get a little bit of that power stroke. Hit the home run last night. It was a no-doubter. He hit one last week. Was the same thing, a no-doubter. I think he's starting to get more and more comfortable with who he is in this league. And teams are going to figure out you cannot throw a fastball past him. Unless you elevate the fastball, he's going to hit it and hit it hard somewhere. He's got crazy good exit velocity. He's a complete baseball player. He runs well. He knows the game. If he makes a mistake, he doesn't make the same mistake twice. He learns from it. He's a lot of fun to watch, and you hope that he is the first of several players that play in a similar fashion. It's funny because the two guys that are linked together are always McGonigal and Max Clark. And yet it seems like they couldn't be more opposite with personalities. McGonigal looks like he's this very humble kid, just going to be quiet, go about his business and do it. Max Clark looks like he's flashy. He's got all the flair and the necklaces and maybe a little bit brash and dialed into social media and all that. But in the end, a real solid baseball player. And I'm looking forward to seeing Max Clark come up, Bryce Rayner, Yost is the other one they got it single A ball. Both of Yost and Rayner are shortstops. We'll see how they matriculate, but they're hitting reasonably well. OPS is like 750 for both of those guys.
At the beginning of the year, when AL Rookie of the Year odds came out, McGonigal had a chance. It was clear that he was going to be one of the favorites to win American League Rookie of the Year. We went back and we said, well, remember who won last year's American League Rookie of the Year? It was Nick Kurtz from the Athletics, and how elite he was as a rookie. And we said, imagine if you plug this bat into the Tigers lineup. That was if everything's working out. Well, Kevin McGonigal's batting average is in line with Nick Kurtz. His home runs, he could hit as many as Nick Kurtz. His RBIs, he could have as many as Nick Kurtz. Now, his OPS isn't nearly as high. Kurtz last year had 293 with 18 home runs, 57 RBIs, and a 1,006 OPS. McGonigal's 282, 5 home runs, 25 RBIs, 811 OPS. So he could do many of the same things Nick Kurtz did, and that was our best case, wildest dream scenario. And he's trending to maybe be exactly that. It's crazy.
Yeah, he won't have the power that Nick Kurtz has, but he's awfully good. Both players are awfully good. I'll be happy with either one. I'm glad we have McGonigal. He's been great. I mean, defensively, it looks like he's gotten better and better defensively, whether he's playing shortstop
plays
or
a more
third.
Important position than Nick Kurtz in terms of defense. He steals more bases than Nick Kurtz, and he's got to keep it up, right? Yeah. I mean, but God, it's been so good. It's been so good. And for this team to have any chance, he has to keep it up. And for the people going, why are you even doing this? Look, what the Tigers are up against are a bad American League. They're chasing 500. The last AL playoff team right now in the wild card has a 500 record. It's the Athletics. There's a chance that 500 can get you in. And do I think this team that has had good starting pitching and on paper should be better moving forward? Do I think with a correction factor, when it takes place with a case like Colt Keith, if it takes place with Torkelson, could lead to some hot bats coming up, and maybe is happening right now with Colt Keith? Chasing 500 isn't an insurmountable task for this team in this group. But that would be to just get them in. Now, to do more than that, than to just get in, they might have to buy at the trade deadline. But that's why, in a very early default position, I'm either buy, and if you can't buy, sell. Because just getting in, you got to just get in with improved roster. And we'll see if they can accomplish any of that. All right. Speaking of trades, there's always Dylan Larkin reporting. It feels like everybody around the league is talking about it. Here are the very latest next here on Karsch and Anderson on 97.1. Got a couple things to get caught up with Scott the Gator Anderson. We'll do that straight ahead. When your garage door has seen better days, don't settle for patched up. Call M&M Garage Doors. That's what we did when we had a garage door problem, and bam, they were out there that day and got it fixed right then and there, as they can do with most jobs. Family owned and operated right here in Michigan since 2011. The guys arrive in fully stocked trucks, giving you upfront pricing, and every job comes with a warranty. Right now, when you get a new garage door, they'll throw in a free opener. That's a $600 value on them. Just mention my name when you call, Doug Karsh. Call 844-ONLY-DOOR or visit GarageDoorRightNow.com. M&M Garage Doors. Open your door to exceptional. All right, so yesterday Gator was off. He was out there shooting a scorching 81 at the Detroit Golf Club at the Rocket Classic Media Day.
We're on the shorter course, but yeah.
Whatever. Well done. But you were playing in the media event. Stoney was in. I want to get caught up on a couple things with you.
Okay.
One, did you watch the United States men's soccer team game on Friday night?
I turned it on late in the first half, and I caught the third goal of the game, which was a really nice goal. Yep. And I left it on as background noise.
Okay.
So I look up occasionally. I did have it on. Yes.
Cool. Were you entertained? Were you like, okay, is there anything that will make you go back for our next game?
The only thing that makes me go, because here's the truth. So then over the weekend, because the cool thing about the World Cup is that all the games are spaced out.
There's always a game on.
There's always a game on.
In fact, there might be one now.
I think there is. So it's cool that there's always a game on, even if you don't have any rooting interest, whatever. The other thing that's cool is that the games are all in 4K.
Yep.
So, I'm a 4K snob because there's just not enough that's broadcast in 4K. And if I finally get a chance to watch it, then I will. It's a function that is not normally utilized on the TV.
Yep.
So if I can, I will, and I'll put it on as background noise if I'm not watching anything else. But so I did catch more soccer than I thought I would over the weekend. All told, maybe an hour's worth.
Okay.
But no, it doesn't really. It still doesn't appeal to me. It's too slow of a game, and so no.
So I want this thing to be successful, and I want people to care, but we're not going to force it down your throat. But to have us win a 4-1 game is better than some of the results we've seen in other games. Yesterday, it was exciting because there were some surprise results. I mean, Spain's supposed to win this whole thing, and they tied Cape Verde 0-0. And the Cape Verde goalie was out of his mind. They fired 27 shots at him. Now, not all of them were on goal, and had some punchaways that might not have been on net, but he was out of his mind to make that really interesting. But I'm not forcing it down your throat. I'll be intrigued if you get to go back, and if you do go back and watch a game against Australia Friday afternoon.
Yeah, I might. If I'm around watching TV, I don't. It's not appointment viewing for me, but okay. I'm not against it where I'm absolutely not going to watch it. It's just
you're not as hostile.
No, I'm not hostile.
We got a text yesterday from a listener that said the people that hate soccer are very proud that they hate soccer. And I told you I went to that friendly where there were 70,000 people there that were loving every second of it. I watched in a bar. Kang, that was your idea that you thought soccer might be a better bar viewing experience. I watched at Connor O'Neill's in Ann Arbor. The place was packed and everybody was going crazy. It was way more fun than watching at home.
Yeah, so. I think it'd be a great bar sport to watch. Yep. And like I said, I did watch some of it. I don't know if Paraguay is terrible or if the United States played awfully well. I mean, everybody seemed to say
we're supposed to win.
I caught like 30 seconds of commentary afterwards, and Alexei Lawless is like, "This is the best I've ever seen this team play." And okay, good to know.
Well, based upon previous results, it feels like they either overachieved or Paraguay played terrible. I know their keeper had an incredible wingspan. And I found a really cool fact that I thought you'd like. His dad was a keeper, and his nickname was Gato.
Oh, cat.
Yes. So apparently this guy is named Gatito.
Is it son of the cat?
It's Kitten.
Oh.
So that's his nickname.
Oh, no.
I might have said that wrong, but and I immediately regret it. The other thing I want to get caught up on is your reaction to the news that Jay Batt was leaving Michigan State yesterday.
Well, this has been in the works for weeks, if not. I think I first heard the rumor of this. It feels like a month ago that this was going to be the case. If Guskiewicz was going to be on the way out, the president of the Michigan State, the rumors were he was going to leave, and that would open the door for Jay Batt to leave. Then Guskiewicz announced he was going to go to Clemson, although I guess technically it hasn't happened yet. But Batt was going to leave, and everybody said, from what I've read about, thought that he would just waiting for an opportunity to get back to the SEC. Initially, I thought, well, this can't be good. It's another change with Michigan State, and this is a guy who I thought was helping to get the transition from Michigan State into the right place. But more I've read about this, and then you're seeing reaction from Izzo and from others, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world that Jay Batt is leaving. The impression I got from reading some stuff on Spartan Mag from Jim Comparoni, who covers Michigan State athletics, is that people in the room weren't all that upset that J-Bat would leave. If this was inevitable, he was going to do it anyway, then better do it early than later, right? Go ahead and go. And then it opens up. Anytime you talk about athletic directors at Michigan State, the Mark Hollis conversation comes up. Mark Hollis was outstanding as an athletic director at Michigan State. Unfortunately, his tenure ended with the Nassar scandal that really had almost nothing to do with Mark Hollis, but he kind of fell on his sword and walked out on his own terms, and that was the case back, whatever it was, 8 years ago, and ended up hooking up with Rocket and becomes one of their marketing directors, specific with the golf tournament, and it tied in brilliantly yesterday because Mark Hollis is up there yesterday at the media event, and he's talking with the media.
So did you talk to him?
I didn't get a chance to talk to him too much, but I was talking with Brad Galley, and Brad Galley had talked with him, and Larry Lage of the Associated Press had talked with him, and I saw the videos and all that. And I was hoping that they were going to ask him about the Michigan State situation. And much to my joy, it seems like Mark Hollis is not opposed to coming back to Michigan State. In fact, he welcomed the conversation right now. Maybe you couldn't have said that a couple of years ago, but now he's in a place where, yeah, he loves Michigan State, loves the university. His best friend is Tom Izzo, or one of his best friends is Tom Izzo. And the working relationship that they had was very successful with the football program and the basketball program specifically. We know the hockey program's going really well right now as well. The thought that he could come back to Michigan State would be great to me, but it would come at a cost because it's going to dredge up all the Nassar stuff again, which, again, I think is unfair for him. But would he want to go through all that? And he knows it. Like, he knows that that's going to be brought up if he does. So I thought it was interesting that what he said yesterday was he's open to the conversation. He'd like to have the conversation. So we'll see where this goes for Michigan State. As far as J-Bat, don't let the door hit you. You want out, get out. Go. Leave.
Feels like the reaction I've seen, people are more upset about Guskowitz than they are the president leaving than the athletic director.
Yeah, because Guskowitz is leaving because of a disagreement or not being able to get along with the board of trustees, with the 2 or 3 members of the board of trustees that are really creating some issues. He's trying to get everybody on the same page, and some of these trustees don't appear that that's what they want to do. So losing him hurts. And I'll defer to Tom Izzo. When Tom Izzo says he doesn't like that Guskowitz is leaving, okay, I'll agree with you. Then I don't like it. So I don't know when they're going to hire a new president, how long that's going to take, who the interim president's going to be, when that announcement comes down. I don't know. It's a bit of a mess at Michigan State right now, but I don't think that they should be without somebody of substance as an athletic director for too long.
Well, one of the consistent things we talk about and seem to be is how do you make the best of a bad situation? And, maybe they can find the right people that just put a rudder down, put an anchor down and quit the boat rocking, and which is what I've asked for Kyle Whittingham to do. Just put a rudder down. And, but yeah, I mean, if you can, if it makes you look long and hard and make sure that the next appointments are long-term appointments. Because the one thing that presidents and athletic directors, they come in and they start initiatives and then they bolt before they ever see them come to fruition. It feels like, that's bogue.
Right. And the big thing with Michigan State right now is getting the Spartan Ventures NIL thing going. And the guy who heads that up seems like he's really encouraged to get some more freedom to get that thing rolling the way that he wants it to with J-Bat out of the picture here. So we'll see how that develops. I mean, that's the next step for college athletics, really, is how to navigate through this world of NIL.
Okay, coming up, phone calls, feedback. Also, an unbelievable Detroit Tigers statistic. We will get to that today at 1:05. It's Carson Anderson here on a Tuesday. You can stream the show with the Odyssey app. Make sure you do that when you're out of town. I've done it a lot lately. Also through our website, 971theticket.com. 97.1.
Brought to you by Michigan Hair Restoration. Plenty of breaking news this hour. First, in a shocking development north of the border, Hockey Night in Canada's run is coming to an end. The NHL, Sportsnet, and CBC said in a joint release today that the Sportsnet and CBC partnership, which kept Hockey Night in Canada on CBC for the last 12 years, is ending. Sportsnet is beginning a new 12-year deal with the NHL separate from CBC while they pivot to, quote, a new sports programming strategy following the unprecedented success of the Milano Cortina Olympic Games. Unquote, according to a statement from the broadcaster. In other NHL news, despite taking the Golden Knights to the Stanley Cup this year, head coach John Tortorella will not be with Vegas next season, the franchise announced today. In PWHL news, Detroit's trade with Vegas for Team USA captain Hilary Knight is official today, as Detroit will give up the 3rd overall pick for Knight. The draft starts tomorrow at the Fox Theater and ends Thursday. In local soccer news, Detroit City FC's new stadium in Corktown will not be ready on schedule. The club announced today a revised timeline for the arena's opening, which schedules the inaugural season as the 2028 United Soccer League campaign instead of the previously planned timeline to open in 2027. DCFC will now play its 2027 home games at its current Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck. And the Tigers look to continue their hot hitting today. After hitting 5 last night, they have 30 home runs in June now, which is the most in any 12-game span in franchise history. They got the Astros at 8-10 here on 97.1. At the Corwell Health Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Shabath. For more, go to 971theticket.com.
Sad news about Hockey Night in Canada. And I mean, do you think about something that's been around our entire lives?
Yeah.
And some of us have lived longer lives than some of the rest of us. Seems pretty end of era-ish.
Oh, the theme song was iconic, and everything that came with it. Who didn't love watching? The intermission updates. You get Don Cherry, Ron McLean.
Our condolences to the people of Canada and hockey fans everywhere at the end of Hockey Night in Canada.
Not even being flippant about it. It sucks.
No, I mean, for the old school, you old heads, Peter Puck back in the day.
I feel like it's so important to them. I couldn't even come up with an equivalent for us. Like if they got rid of something. Like,
Monday Night Football.
Is it? I don't even think it's as close as Hockey Night in Canada. Like, I can't believe when Shabath told me the news before he went on the air with this, I was like, I don't believe it. Like, just have the show whether you have the games or not, right? Whether you have the rights to anything or not. This is
still do a Hockey Night in Canada show with McLean and.
It was our gateway as a kid to be able to watch Wayne Gretzky play in Edmonton. Before he had ESPN and all that, and hockey coverage going crazy because it was the 80s. You had there was no outlet. You had to watch it on Hockey Night in Canada.
You realize if you took today off and not yesterday off, I would have had Mike Stone. And with this news, he probably would have reworked Whoa Canada, the song he sings every year. Canada gets their last team eliminated from the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you're in. 248-539-9797. Pete's in Chesterfield, and he's next on 97.1. Hello, Pete.
Hey, gentlemen.
What's up?
I've been waiting for so long to be able to call in and talk soccer with you guys. This is just amazing. I actually didn't know if they were going to put me through when I said that's what I wanted to talk about.
Well, let's hope it's so super interesting that we'll have you on regularly.
It's not going to be.
Oh, damn it.
No, just the input on like what happened, right? And was it we just played a horrible team or not? So Paraguay was ranked 40th in the world before that match, and we were ranked 17th. So the best thing I can compare it to that listeners would probably appreciate would be like Michigan State in football, and Michigan's favored by 10, and they win by like 21, 24. Mm-hmm. We played a decent team, and we played a great game. It was an exciting game. To put 4 goals up, as many Americans complain about, is a big number.
As a fan, and I parachute in on the World Cup every 4 years, but then I realized I watched 9 of the 12 games over the weekend, and I'm thinking to myself, well, at least we scored a bunch of goals, so hopefully that'll draw in some more people. Give us a real quick, Pete, thoughts on this game with Australia on Friday.
Yeah, going to be another tough game. Going to be a very, very similar game. If Balogun up front at striker could play the way he played, and we have Pulisic playing the way he played, and his knock isn't too serious, we're going to look good. It's all going to come down to the back four, though, for the U.S., and that's what was probably the best part of that. If you're a fan, the goals are nice, but they played really solid. And I could get into like formations and stuff, but I know it's probably not what you guys.
Yeah, probably don't do it in football. We're not going to do it in soccer, but
we're not going to do it in football.
Pete, thank you very much.
I mean, the key was it Friday night they're playing or Friday afternoon?
Friday at 3.
You limit what Griff Sturmer can do, and you're going to be in good shape. You know, I mean, he's from Adelaide, so
yep,
he's a big striker, and he is not afraid to use the elbows, but he does it in a way that he doesn't get caught.
Thank you, Gator. Always good to get your insight. I promised an unbelievable Detroit Tiger statistic. Would you say that this team is probably not the most power-driven lineup you've ever seen?
I would say they are not.
No. In fact, through the first couple months of this season, they weren't hitting home runs at all.
No.
Detroit Tigers PR at this hour has just tweeted out an unbelievable stat. And it's truly unbelievable. It's not an over-exaggeration. Tigers PR, we've hit 30 homers in 12 games since the start of June. That's the most home runs of any 12-game span in the 125 years of Tigers baseball.
Whoa.
This Tiger team has hit more home runs in June than any Tiger team has ever hit over a 12-game span ever. And I'll give Tony Paul credit because he tweeted out a response to this, a shocking stat for a team that used to play in Tiger Stadium.
Right. Short porch and right. When you compare it to May, they played 28 games in May. They hit 18 home runs in all of May. They've already hit 30 in just 12 games. Less than half that total. That's amazing.
Now, again, we talk about a correction factor. When teams are underachieving, they go through this white-hot stretch to get back on track. That, my friends, is freaking unbelievable.
549 slugging percentage this month. The 30 home runs have come in 410 at-bats.
Wow.
So, one out of every, 13 at-bats?
Something like
13,
that. 13,
14 at-bats. Yep. That's incredible. They really, look, it helps when you get 5 in a game and 3 by one player.
I just looked down at Twitch and somebody said, yes, Doug, and that's with 85% minor leaguers. Referencing a call we took earlier today about the makeup of the Tigers roster. That's incredible.
That is incredible.
Now, they're not going to keep this up, obviously, so they're going to have to find other ways to win baseball games. But than just hitting the long ball. That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. 248-539-9797. Larry and Celine, you're next. Hello, Larry.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, so comparing the Michigan Wolverines with the New York Knicks, and I'm a native New Yorker. So both the Knicks and the Wolverines were the first teams in their respective leagues to have an entire starting five that was not recruited or drafted by their team.
Cool. Is that it?
Is that accurate?
Yeah, the other thing is, of course, the comparison is they both had a tremendous point differential, both of them, which may have set records also. I'm not sure. The Knicks definitely set it. I'm not sure if the Wolverines set it or not.
What record did the Knicks set?
I think it's the most points differential in a playoffs. It was over 200.
The Knicks have the most points differential in the history of the playoffs?
Yeah, it was over 200 points. Yeah. And that wasn't necessarily done against just San Antonio, but if you recall, they were winning games by 30, 40, and 50 points in the previous rounds.
Yeah, we filled our quota on Knicks calls for the month. And by month, I mean year.
I mean, well, the differential against the Spurs was nothing. 4 or 5 points. Now it's down to 1 point to 2 points. 12 points was the differential in the series.
Yeah.
They smoked the Cavs. And they smoked the 76ers. There's no question.
He didn't even sound sure of it.
No. It's impressive what they did. Look, that's the other thing I haven't had a chance to opine about the great Knicks.
Hold on.
Win.
According to NBA.com, the Knicks outscored their opponents by 14.9 points per game. It's the best point differential in NBA playoff history. So the per game average was the best. Yes. You want to get in on you have some Knicks love?
Well, no, I have no Knicks love. I can't stand the Knicks. I will say this: Jalen Brunson played out of his mind, and I think I hate him less.
You hate Brunson less?
Yeah, because I don't think he wasn't foul. But I mean, there's SGA foul baiting, and there's everybody else, and I feel like Brunson used to be that, and I think he took a step back from that and just became a player.
Maybe.
He really took over.
I didn't notice as much, and it all paled in comparison to SGA.
Yeah.
I will open the window here a little bit. Yesterday we did Champ and Chump, and the Chump was the San Antonio Spurs, and the reason was because it unleashed Knicks fans.
Yeah, that is a problem. Yeah, because Knicks fans are horrible. They're absolutely horrible. I don't know if that caller was horrible. I'm just nothing against you, buddy. It's just your whole brethren sucks. They're terrible, and it's going to be insufferable. And I turned the channel after they won, immediately after it was over with. Like, I'm not going to watch the trophy presentation. I don't want to see any of it. On court interviews and nobody believed in us and all this. I don't need to hear any of that stuff. I don't care. I just do not care. But I tip my hat, and I give credit where it's due. It was a really impressive performance.
They completely changed. They went
did.
next level. The Knicks,
I mean,
the Knicks are the kind of team that make you hope your team can find a new gear, because they did.
They exposed San Antonio for everything that you could expose them for. I mean, well, now look at San Antonio. De'Aaron Fox is nowhere to be found. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if there's like a point shaving investigation of what he was doing.
Oh, he's a big foul.
I just say he played very erratic and made some really untimely turnovers and just did some really crazy type shots. Wembanyama was nothing what I expected him to be, and he started morphing into something I really don't like. Did you like how Wembanyama played?
No, I didn't, and I think their youth showed. Okay, their immaturity showed.
Well, that's
in a lot of ways.
Is that it? Was it that simple that they were just immature and lacked the experience?
Well, the Knicks winning a championship kind of adds to what's been a really weird year in sports already. And we're just getting to the halfway point, I guess, here. So anyway, we'll get to that coming up today at 1:20. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1. Hey, it's Doug Karsch for Sarah Chevrolet in Sterling Heights. Buckle up for summer markdowns on demos with less than 2,000 miles all month long. Pay just $199 a month for 24 months on a Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT 4x4 with $999 down. Go now to 17.5 in Van Dyke and Sterling Heights, 87-SAY-SARAH or saysarah.com. Together, let's drive. With GM employee discount, Chevy lease loyalty in the household, 10,000 miles per year. Demos may have up to 2,000 miles plus tax and fees with approved credit. Offer ends at the end of the month. So Gator,
Dark?
A National Day sometimes inspires you to do something.
Yeah.
Like National Pizza Day. You're like, I'm going to get a pizza.
Pizza sounds good.
Today is National Fudge Day and National Fresh Veggie Day.
Fresh Veggie Day, huh?
Yeah.
Feel like going to the farmer's market?
Is this inspiring you to do anything?
Let's see. What do I have in the house? It's fresh veggies. I have salad fixings.
Okay.
So I could do that. Mm-hmm. I don't have any fudge in the house.
No.
Gator, if you had to eat a vegetable, a fresh vegetable that you cannot cook in any way, what vegetable would it be?
Just eat it raw?
Yep.
This is easy.
Well, I didn't ask you, Doug. I knew it'd be easy. It's like you're salivating right now that I mentioned that question. Maybe we should go with Doug first.
Well, I'm torn between the two that come to mind are carrots or like cherry tomatoes.
Uh-huh.
I like cherry tomatoes. Or celery. I'll go with
no dipping or anything. You just eat.
no dipping,
Okay.
just straight up.
Yep.
Okay, that helps me. I'll go.
We could dip anything in ranch, make it say it's okay.
You know what? I'm going to surprise you here. Anybody have yellow pepper on their scorecard?
I wouldn't have expected that from you. No. So yeah, it's a good choice. I mean, there's so many.
Yeah.
It's hard to narrow it down.
Have at it, Doug.
Cucumber. I
Actually,
love cucumber slices. Just slice up cucumber and eat them
I agree
little
with that.
discs.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's actually a decent call, Doug.
I've got a cucumber in the refrigerator right now. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
There you go. Kang, what about you?
No, I like it. Cucumber.
Do you? All right. Yep.
My daughter likes tomatoes as well, Gator. So eat the cherry tomatoes, or the big beefsteak tomatoes. Doesn't matter. Eat it like an apple.
So as far as
salt on there, even better.
Is there any kind of flavored fudge? It's also a National Fudge Day, like any, your peanut butter or anything along those lines that you like?
I mean, most fudge tastes pretty good. Every time I hear fudge, I think of Mackinac Island, right? The fudge up there. But I'm plain simple guy. Chocolate works. I think there's a maple. It's always good too.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Maple flavor's good. I'm damn near everything.
Yeah, I think it's like once a year or once every couple of years I'll have some. Either something is brought in or somebody has something at the house or whatever. But I think I bought a block of fudge at like an auto show or something like that, or some kind of convention. It always seems at the old Kobo, they used to always there's always something there to
it's the auto show. Time to get my fudge.
Here's fudge, yeah. Or the golf show.
Fudge.
Yeah. The golf show in Novi, and they've got, there's come get your fudge. I don't know. Fudge is good. I don't love that as much. Here's the truth. My mom used to make some, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
It was like in this old. She put it in like a tin foil, like a pie tin. She would make it in that, and it was really thin, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick, and it was so delicious.
Well, celebrate how you choose. National Fudge Day and National Fresh Veggie Day.
Well, maybe Brady's going to have to make some fudge.
248-539-9797. Mike is next on 97.1. Hello, Mike.
Good afternoon, fellas.
What's up?
Sorry to hijack the sports conversation after Fudge Talk, but
you're fine.
I did want to make a point about what I viewed to be the importance of the men's USA team's win over Paraguay.
All right.
Not because it's the best win they've ever had, right? Historically, they've had more important wins. They've had more important moments. They've had a lot of down moments, too. But this ultimately wasn't just another group stage win. This was more important because of the audience that was watching it. The game averaged about 16 million people throughout the course of the game. And I want to say the NBA Finals was averaging about 19.6 million. So on the whole, that's not a whole lot much of a difference. But it's a lot of the younger kids that were watching it, right? The significance isn't that we beat them 4-1. It's that millions of American kids saw the U.S. look dominant, aggressive, and capable of potentially winning a World Cup on U.S. soil. I don't think that can be underestimated. Now, it will matter how they follow up. It'll matter how they play Australia. It'll matter if they win the group stage. But this is very much potentially a foundational layer for future generations to actually care about soccer.
A couple of things. To be fair, we've heard that for a long time about, and you know, we played growing up, and maybe it will, maybe it'll take a team making a deep run. Mike, this team wasn't supposed to be this good, was it?
They were and they weren't. I think a lot of the pundits said they had the potential to do so. They just didn't believe they could. And it turns out they showed up, at least in the first half, when they were supposed to. The second half, I was admittedly a little bit worried that they had the potential to blow things, but they didn't. They held on. They did what they needed to do. And again, I don't think history will remember or care that they won 4-0 against Paraguay. What they'll care about is that the first impression for my kids was, holy crap, this team is good.
Yeah.
Now they have to follow up, right? They have to do well. They have to have a decent run in order for it to stick. But if all that happens, that will be the turning point in history as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, you're right. If they capitalize on it, if they go on a long run, if they capture people's imagination and are entertaining, like there's...
Can they make it to the next round?
Yeah, I mean, they should. They should win this group. The question is, can they win a few games when we get to, bracket play?
Are we really going a week between games? Like, is this just this first week, or is it like that they start picking up?
I think that's usually the case, and it's 6 days.
Well, how long is this tournament?
Did they play Friday or Saturday?
I thought it was
Did they play Friday? Maybe it is a full week. Tournament's 5 weeks long, so you can't go a week between games when you get into the brackets. But yeah, it's gonna be a minute before this thing's done. Trying to figure out when we play. We play Turkey on the following Thursday, so there'll be 6 days between that. So, anyway, look.
Do you think that's a problem? Is that a miss?
What do you mean?
With interest,
that they should be playing more frequently. There's a lot of
games.
The problem is that they've expanded the field, and so there's more teams, there's more games that need to get played, and so
they expand the field, and Italy still can't get
it. Take it up with Mike. I did ask Mike, and Mike had a reason. Like Mike was absolutely had a reason why Italy's not in it and what's wrong with Italian soccer. It is hard to believe. I mean, given how little we know about soccer collectively, and certainly international soccer, Italy not being in a World Cup again, because they've missed a couple times in a row here.
Right?
Yeah. All right. 248-539-9797. By the way, one of the guys that we have coveted and talked about, according to Terran Armstead, the former Saint, who has his own show, he says that Cam Jordan, the edge rusher, who is a free agent and spent his entire career with New Orleans, Terran Armstead is saying that he is back talking with the Saints. Boo.
I don't want that.
No. I don't know why he won. I guess that's his spot. That's where he's played his whole career.
That's who perhaps he's talking to now. Does that stop other teams from reaching out and picking up the phone? Maybe not. Maybe he wants to retire.
I just think he'd be the perfect Lion.
I think he would too. I think it would have been a perfect addition last year at the trade deadline.
Yep. But we'll see what develops there. 248-539-9797. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1.